DP.
Dan Patrick.
Welcome to the Dan Patrick Show.
We are the most unathletically decorated show in radio history, I think.
America's most revered sports talk show.
Respect the position that you have.
But today, Dan Patrick and the four Danettes are not here. So sitting in for Dan Patrick and hosting the Dan Patrick Show, here's Steve Covino and Rich Davis.
Woo, I just hydroplaned in here off the 101. My goodness.
Yeah. Dude, the weather's that bad, huh?
Yo, not good. Steve Covino.
What's the deal? Yeah,
Rich Davis. What's up, man?
Well, the rest of the crew is live from the Fox Sports Radio studio. I'm live from Idaho right now for the Sweet Potato in My Pants contest. And you can watch it live on YouTube, Covino and Rich FSR. See our mugs as we simulcast on the YouTube channel and join the live chat. And let's get ready for Christmas Eve. Yeah, Merry Christmas Eve. I'm Christmas Steve. That is Rich Davis, jingling and jangling through the rain.
Let me tell you, not to sound, I feel like a big weenie even saying it, but why is everyone driving so fast? I don't get it, dude. Like, I got those low-profile tires on my car. I feel like in pouring conditions like this, people are maniacs. I'm like, does anyone care about their life?
Yeah,
it's weird, man. It's
in
weird.
Los Angeles, it rarely rains. When it does, the roads get extra slippery from the oil.
Whoa.
And people forget how to drive. And I guess what you're saying is on the run flats, it's even more difficult. But yeah, I'm not experiencing that. It's actually kind of blustery here in Idaho and Potato Land. Blustery day today. What is it? Like a gorilla monsoon going on in California
right now? We
right
have a full gorilla monsoon.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a tornado watch.
Word.
A tornado watch in Southern California.
But
God.
here's what I don't get. I've been talking to you guys all week, and I haven't heard any mention of this until this morning.
I have East Coast family and friends visiting later in the week, and I feel so bad. It's not that I'm, Mother Nature or Father Time, but I'm like, I'm sorry. It's like sunny and beautiful 99% of the time, and you're coming during a rainstorm.
Well,
Rainstorm.
hey, good luck, everybody. Survive. Enjoy the holiday, and let's dive into it. Hope you had a great night last night. Let's have a great day. Let's have a Merry Christmas Eve. Again, I'm Steve Covino. We got Iowa Sam on the Glockenspiel.
What's up, Sammy?
Iowa Sam.
How do?
Dressed up like an elf today.
No one else got the memo.
Yeah.
I feel lame that I didn't. I was going to wear a red Christmas Santa hat to go with my 49ers red, and I failed. It was honestly, it's so miserable out. I'm not going to talk about it the rest of the show as we fill in for the great Dan Patrick, but let it be known, Southern California never rains, and it is honestly, like Danny said, tornado warning. So.
Well, it's true, Rich, right? Weather talk is right up there with your fantasy sports team and what your kids are up to.
Yeah.
No one really cares.
So let's forget those topics.
Yeah, but I get it. It's bad out, I've heard.
By the way, you can sign up for our college football playoff bracket.
Oh, yeah.
That's
you want to do that?
one.
Let's do that. Hey, sign up, do that, and get involved. Fox Sports Radio.
No, Rich, people don't care about your bracket. They only care about their own, so no one wants to hear about that either. Yeah, but we do appreciate you signing up because you have a chance to win $1,000. We'll tell you all about it. But, hey, Danny G, great to see you. He's on the phones at 877-99 on Fox, 877-99 on Fox. Everything at Covino and Rich, and the live chat is up, Covino and Rich FSR, so you could see what you hear. Again, we're on 5 to 7 on the East, Monday through Friday, 2 to 4 on the West. And always a pleasure to be here for Dan Patrick.
Let's dive into the storm. Lots to get to today. We're going to talk about classic moments in sports and whether or not they hold up. There's a new tradition in the NBA with the Spurs. Is it corny or super cool? We'll get to that. We'll talk a little boxing. Jake Paul's in the news. There's an update with the Paul brothers. But you know what? Danny hit me up with a meme this morning. I want to start with NFL because that's where we're at. I mean, look at me. I'm wearing my Niners hoodie. Danny G's rocking his Raiders gear, even though what are they, 3-12 or 2-13?
Ashton Genty, Offensive Rookie of the Year.
They stink. Have they won 2 or 3 games? I saw that, we have an abundance of stink this year. There's a lot of parity in the league, but there's also a lot of stink and a lot of double-digit win teams.
No, bro. A lot of stink, a lot of stank, a lot of stunk. Come on, it's Christmas time.
You're right. Because I was like, who's going to get – I was taking a look. I was like, Who's about to blow? Because every year there's a team that's about to get the number 1 draft pick and they win a stupid game, and it's like, what are you doing?
You mean like we have the battle of the 2 and 13s, the Raiders and the Giants playing each other? What do you do?
Yeah, I was like, some team's gonna F up their own draft picks, but as of right now, the Jets are 3-12, the Browns are 3-12, the Titans are 3-12, Danny G's Raiders are 2-13, the Raiders are only equally suck matched with the Giants, who are 2-13, and the Cardinals are 3-12. So there's a hell of a lot of suck at the bottom of the NFL, and one of those teams will unfortunately win, and that's not a good thing, which is like the opposite of everything you're productively trying to do. But there's a lot of suck. But let's go to the top of the NFL, Covino. You saw this meme that Danny G sent us, and it's a common sentiment every year. People say, "Yeah, well, their schedule's weak," and the answer to that is always, you only play who's on your schedule. You don't determine what you do. You don't determine who you play. No team picks their schedule. So there's a list of who has had the easiest strength of schedule this NFL season. And let me just let you know, all 5 teams are in the playoffs.
Well, Rich, you started your radio career as a top 40 host and DJ. So you got to start with number 5. I just want to remind you.
I mean, you want me to pull a Spider Harrison or Casey Kasem or Rick Dees?
I was thinking about the Wolfman Jacks and Casey Kasems of the world.
What do you like better, by the way? Do you like Casey Kasem or Rick Dees?
Rick Dees.
Yeah, Rick Dees. Yeah, forget it. Let's.
Well, actually, Casey Kasem. But I was thinking about how we're filling in for Dan Patrick, and we're streaming live on camera and everything. So I had to comb my pompadour early in the morning and to get ready. But if you were Rick Dees or Wolfman Jack or any of these guys, Cousin Brucey, you just strolled right in, man. It didn't matter what you looked like. No one ever saw those guys. You
think Mike and the Mad Dog comb their hair? I don't think Mad Dog still combs his hair.
Sometimes, yeah, it looks like he doesn't. Yeah,
my grandma still thinks Wolfman Jack is black
and alive. Wolfman Jack. All right,
number 5, Rich, is that shirt you're rocking right now.
Number 5, the 49ers, who have a clear path to the number 1 seed this Sunday. We're gonna break this game down later. I feel like the 49ers Bears Sunday night is going to be so telling for both teams, for everyone else watching. Fans of other teams are going to watch the Niners host the Bears Sunday Night Football. After Christmas, you'll be chilling out in that confusing week where you don't know where the hell you are or what day it is. Sunday night.
Mean the grassy knoll of the holidays?
Yeah, I think you could say taint, right? The taint of the holiday season.
Oh, yeah, because it taint quite Christmas and it taint quite the New Year.
Yeah, so we'll be watching Niners hosting the Bears, but let's talk about it right now. Number 5, the 49ers, their strength of schedule, a .458 winning percentage.
Yeah, so their opponent's win percentage is .458.
Their opponent's win percentage slightly under 500. So when you say, man, the Niners, they're 11-4 with a clear path to number 1. If they beat the Bears, then it's a game for everything against the Seahawks. Here's the thing, though. I said that at the beginning of the year. So I knew my Niners, because they had a struggle year last year, were going to get a weaker NFC schedule, and they did, and they capitalized on that. Hey, could Sean Payton and the Broncos? Because everyone's questioning these teams that turned it around pretty quick. They got good paths to high seeds in the playoffs, but their schedules are all among the weakest. Again, you could only play who's on your schedule. So
it's not a knock on them.
That's a sentiment that we've talked about for years. I actually, wrote down tired argument or legit point when people say things like that. Like, well, look who they played. Well, it's like, dude, you don't make the schedule. Like, so what, the 49ers played the Titans and the Cardinals, and that's who's on their schedule.
But there's no diggity, no doubt that matters. It absolutely matters. Like I said, compare it to fights. If you're looking at someone's fight record on their Wikipedia and it's a bunch of no-names that they beat, what does that prove to you? It proves nothing. It's who you beat and how you beat them. And okay, if you really want to dive into that, honestly, how are they fundamentally, right? And all these teams in the top 5 are pretty solid fundamentally. So that does factor into the equation here.
It could go for anything.
To say it doesn't matter is false. It absolutely does matter.
We're doing that college football bracket for Fox Sports Radio if people want to play along.
Yeah.
It's like the NCAA tournament every March. There's a team that's their part of the bracket. People will argue like their path to the Final Four is weak. And it's like, no, they just sort of lucked out. A couple teams lost. There was an upset here or there. What are you going to blame them for having a little luck on their side? Dude, if you go to a bar, not to be all pervy, but if you go to a bar and every other dude there's a weenie.
You can't say not to be all pervy and then be pervy all the time.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
But I'm saying
that's just who you are.
I'm saying if you're a single guy and you go to a bar and every other guy there is a loser and you go home with some hot girl, is it really you, or like your competition was weak ass? Like
weak competition, but hey,
and sometimes you got to capitalize.
Any fault to you?
But isn't that what we keep saying about the Buffalo Bills, Danny G, and the AFC? Like, man, the Chiefs had a down year, and Lamar's hurt, and
but that's what I'm saying, Rich. It's always a this or that conversation, especially in sports. Two things can be true, right? They have weak schedule. They're playing who they can, but yes, it does matter. Yes, it does matter.
Also, something we should think about is some of the teams, when we looked at their schedule before the season began, we're like, oh, that's going to be an insane game. And then that team winds up having a really bad season. Nobody saw it coming, like the Commanders, for instance.
Of course.
We didn't think they were going to be, 4-11 right now?
If you saw the Commanders on your schedule. In fact, I'll be truthful. When I looked at the 49ers, as you know, if you don't know, Covino and Rich, I'm Rich, 49ers fan. When I looked at the final stretch of the season, mid-season, I was like, Monday night in Indianapolis? When they were like 7-1, 8-2, I remember thinking like, oh, man, well, there's an L on the schedule. Because at that time, you're like, man, Daniel Jones is cooking. And I remember thinking like, all right, well, let me put an L. That might be an L. And then, fast forward, the run game dies in Indianapolis. Jonathan Taylor goes from running for 120 yards a game to like 70. Phillip Rivers is the quarterback, and the team can't win. So I get what you're saying, Danny G. It's all circumstantial, too. Someone probably saw on their schedule. Like, what's the Chiefs game on Christmas Day? Is that against the Chargers?
Yeah.
You don't think the Chargers circled that game like, oh, man, that's going to be a big one. We're playing the Chiefs on Christmas? And now the Chiefs on Christmas is a team led by a quarterback that no one's ever heard of because
their third stringer.
Mahomes is injured. Minshew's injured. Kelsey's talking about retirement. Andy Reid's more worried about is there good eateries near the new stadium in a couple of years? Like that team.
Is, you're right. Them moving to Kansas is the biggest story surrounding that team right now.
Oh, yeah. So wow. With all that said, I think it's hard to judge a team for something they can't control. But it is something to note. And when you look, Covino, it's funny because I look at other people's power rankings, and then I realize they're just a bunch of dopes like you and me making their power rankings. Like, I can make power rankings right now and be like, all right, guys, it's Rich Davis's power rankings. And I can make up some BS. But when you look at everyone else's, you're like, man, I wonder if they're taking this into account. I'll tell you what, my power rankings, these teams are still winning games when they have to win.
Again, if you just joined us, Covino and Rich in for Dan Patrick. Easiest strength of schedule this season. Rich's 49ers are 5th. Chargers 4th. The Bears are 3rd. Broncos are 2nd. And the Patriots are number 1 with the easiest strength of schedule. Does that mean we have to change the words again? Is it not Drake May is the man? Drake May is the man. Drake May is the man. Is he the man if he hasn't beaten anyone that matters?
And from the corrections department, Thursday Night Football, Broncos Chiefs.
Oh, Broncos Chiefs?
In Kansas City.
I'm sorry, not Chargers Chiefs. I'm sorry.
Chargers host the Texans on Saturday.
Well, that's a good one. That's what I was thinking. But you know what? To quote Shepard Smith back in the day, not sure what happened there. Won't happen again.
Won't happen again. So your thoughts, 877-99 on Fox, 877-99 on Fox. It does matter, Rich. Billy Madison was a great dodgeball player. You know why? Because he was playing against kindergartners.
Oh, is that how Kramer's good at karate?
Exactly. You took the words right out of my mouth, Meatloaf. Kramer was a black belt in karate because he's fighting a bunch of little kids. These things do matter. But at the same time, you can only play who's on your schedule.
Oh,
so two things can be true. I know that's boring, but that's the facts. That's the truth.
Doesn't that apply to someone we're going to talk about later on the show, Jake Paul? Until he fought a real fighter like Anthony Joshua, what was the sentiment? Well, look who he's fighting. Look who they're playing. That's a common sentiment overall in sports.
And it was a matter of but it's entertaining. So who cares, right? So you have to factor in who the competition is in everything you do.
I have a question for you.
Hey, Rich, just take it back to real life. You may have been the king of your street in wiffle ball or tackle football. You really didn't know how good you were until you dabbled into the other neighborhoods. And that's, how life works.
Let's honestly, let's all be real there. What Covino just said is how we all realized we weren't good enough to play pro sports.
Or you may have been great in high school, and then you get to college and realize that there's beasts from all other counties all over the country. That
is when most of us realized, I guess I'm not going to play pro sports, because you might have been a pretty good high school player. You played in college, or you played, at a bigger school, and you're like, oh.
Now, the only difference here is we're talking about professional athletes, so they're all great and they're all good, and it's any given Sunday. But still, some teams are better than others, and we don't know until that matchup is in front of us.
I think there's a wild stat about the 49ers I'm going to get to next, and I'll just say this. It's more wild than the fact that they haven't punted since it's like Thanksgiving.
No punt November, man.
They haven't punted since you were eating Thanksgiving leftovers.
That's crazy.
Honestly, Morstead, their punter, I think he had leftover stuffing and cranberry sauce more recently than punted in an NFL game. But there's a more interesting stat about the Niners, so we'll talk a little NFC West. 49ers, Rams, Seahawks. How do you see this panning out? We'll get to that. Plus, a new tradition in the NBA with Wemby that I think is awesome, but you might think is corny as hell. I don't know. We'll break it down. A Christmas Eve, Covino and Rich show in for the great Dan Patrick. Appreciate you hanging. Let's go.
All right, let's talk about our friends at Panini America, the official trading card and NFT partner of the Dan Patrick Show. Panini brings premier collective experience with the most coveted cards across the NFL, WNBA, college, NASCAR, and more. With the NFL playoff picture getting wild, you can hunt for top rookies and breakout stars like McMillan, along with game's biggest names and legends on the award-winning Panini Direct app.
Yo, dude, I got a little son, and all he wants to do is collect sports cards and Pokemon cards. The collecting game is back in a big way. Now, if you're looking for a gift anytime, the Panini Direct app is the best place to grab gifts or collectibles and collectors of any age, delivered straight from Panini. Panini is also dominating NIL collectibles, showcasing top college names like Arch Manning and headliners like the first overall pick, Paige Beckers, and MVP, Asia Wilson. Now, if you're into digital collectibles, check out Panini's NFT platform, nft.paniniamerica.net, where record-breaking sales continue every month and new auctions close daily.
Lock in live moments with Panini Instant Cards made within minutes of iconic plays. Visit PaniniAmerica.net or download the Panini Direct app. Panini America, the official trading card of an NFT partner of the Dan Patrick Show.
Yep. So here's the thing. I'm going to ask my kids a question. You don't answer right away. Covino's going to set the odds. 30 seconds, and you just got to pick over, under. Question one, Covino.
Okay.
In 30 seconds.
In 30 seconds, between the two of them, right?
Yeah, they're working together as a little team.
All right, they're a tandem.
All right, here we go. First question. How many NFL football teams can my kids name in 30 seconds?
In 30 seconds, 9.
9.
In 30 seconds?
In 30 seconds.
In 30 seconds?
Okay, so,
all of them.
All right, well, chill, Ben. Travis, do you think under or over 9?
Way over.
Oh, boy, the pressure's on. All right, we have the timer set at 30 seconds. And when I point to you, you start naming football teams.
Wait, points?
No, just name all the football teams you can think of. Ready? You ready, Ben? Okay, ready? Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go.
Green Bay Packers, 49ers, Chargers, Bears,
That's 4. Keep going. Rams. Come on, keep going. You don't have to whisper. Go.
Then just do it. It's ticking.
Come on. Come on. That's 10 seconds. Come on.
Ben, do it.
Come on. Come on. You got it. Oh, you got 5. You got 5 teams.
Wait, what did he say?
He said, yeah.
He said over?
Yeah.
Oh. Hey, man, it's different when the pressure's on.
Yeah. All right, very stressful. Next question. By the way, thank you, Travis. You want to go to Big Bear next, or you want to go to Tulsa, Oklahoma? Where do you want to go?
Big Bear.
Let's go to Big Bear and say hi to Steve. Hey, Steve, you there?
Yes.
All right, I'm on dad duty today, so we're going to play over-under. 30 seconds. Steve Covino.
Okay.
How many Disney characters from movies and TV shows do you think my kids can name in 30 seconds?
30 seconds goes
This
quick.
is going to be hard.
All right, Disney characters is easier than football teams,
Okay.
I think. But I still think 9 is a pretty solid number. I think if they could name 9, I'd be impressed. 9.
All right, 9. Steve, over, under 9?
I'm going to go with under.
Under 9.
I think I could do over than that.
Up. Okay, let's go. On the count of 3, the
I
timer's...
think I could do all of them.
Up. You said that last time. All right, on the count of 3, name every Disney character you could think of. You got to get 9 in 30 seconds. Ready? 3,
Okay.
2, 1, go.
Elsa, Anna, Olaf, Mabel, Dipper,
Okay, that's 5.
Aladdin,
Yep.
Ariel,
What?
Woody, Ariel,
Think of all the movies you know.
all the movies.
They need one more. It's
Lightyear.
10
Buzz
seconds.
Lightyear.
Buzz, that's 9.
One more.
Oh no.
Any other princess?
Ben,
or
Ben,
what?
just,
What?
Just do it.
Just say it.
Mulan.
Mulan. Was that at the buzzer? Are we counting that at the buzzer?
Sam.
I'll count it.
All right. There you go. Over. Sorry. Oh, sorry, Steve.
buddy. They snuck Mulan in with the
Actually, you know what? I
Mulan
think it was
buzzer
after
beater.
the buzzer. I think it was after the buzzer.
The third category is baseball players.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Baseball.
Covino, how many
Yes.
baseball players in 30 seconds?
Wow, this is tough. You know why? Because, I'm a baseball fan, but I feel like even I'm limited with, I'm Yankees all the way. These kids are Dodgers, Mets. I don't know how much.
Sometimes a little yank.
Ooh, a little, yeah, okay. All right, so how many baseball players? I'm
Yeah.
going magic number 7.
7. Okay.
7.
7 or 6?
No, 7.
Six.
7
No,
and
don't
30
say it.
seconds.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. All right. 7. Do you think over or under, Art?
I'm going under because I thought they was. When you said Dodgers Mets, they gonna name all the Dodgers, so I'm gonna go. I predict they 6, but I'm going under.
Okay, under 7, 30 seconds. Ben, get on the microphone. What are you doing? He's playing with hand sanitizer. All right, let's go. Get in there. Come
Ben,
on.
where's your radio etiquette? Come
Come on,
on.
we're on the radio.
No,
People
he's
are
like his
listening
dad.
to this.
He's just like his dad.
Pay attention.
No controlling this kid.
All right, your 30 seconds. You have to name baseball players. Starts now.
Otani.
Otani. I heard Lindor.
Mookie Betts.
Okay.
Otani.
Nimmo.
Nimmo.
That's 4.
That's 4. Come on.
Okay.
Come on. Dodgers, Yankees, Mets, anyone. Padres, you name it. Come on.
10 seconds.
Come on.
Aaron Judge.
Aaron Judge. Okay, that's
Good one.
5.
One more.
Yeah, come on.
Come on.
Do it.
Come on.
Ben didn't know anymore. Tatis.
Oh, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6. He
So
won.
you win.
He
Yep.
win. There
You
you go. He
win,
won.
man.
There you
I
go.
told you I believe in the kids, man.
You
I
win,
believe in the
buddy.
kids.
Good job, Art.
Hey, happy holidays from Covino and Rich in for Dan Patrick, live from the Fox Sports Radio studio. Still driving that trusty, rusty old ride? Well, keep it looking sharp with Mako. From dense to faded paint, we've got you covered. Get a free estimate today. Better get Mako. Today, however, is Christmas Eve. So how about you enjoy the day? And the weather's bad in L.A. Here in Idaho, just cold and dark. It's still dark here. So anyway,
For all
I'm
our,
Covino. That is Rich.
All our East Coast affiliates, where I know Dan has a ton of people on the East Coast.
Yeah.
A lot of snow projections and predictions. So, hey,
Stay safe. Put on your freezy freakies.
dream of
Enjoy
that
the
white
holidays.
Dream of that white Christmas.
Yeah, and Rich, I want to throw a few shout-outs to
You say a shout-out?
I said shout-outs.
Oh, okay.
K. Rain, Becker Scott, Talica, Wilhelmina Kreider, Green 4877, Jen Brown. A lot of people chiming in live on the live chat. Streaming live, Covino and Rich FSR on YouTube. Covino and Rich FSR. Join the fun, say what's up, and see what you hear. So we have lots to get to. We have prizes to give away today. Midweek Major. We're going to give you the news in sports and pop culture and decide together, are these stories mid, as the kiddos say, weak, or major? We do that every Wednesday on our show. And Mike's Wednesday Words of Wisdom, all you have to do is listen and repeat verbatim, and you get a prize. But strength of schedule doesn't matter. Unfortunately, it does. But you can only win the games you play and the teams you play.
It's true. I mean, you can't be like, hey, man, we really would like a tougher schedule.
Yeah, no, man.
Why would you? Why would you not want a cake schedule? In fact, if your team like the 49ers, who had an off year last year, if you remember, McCaffrey was out the whole year, Kittle, that team was decimated, right? So because you suck, you get a favorable schedule the next year. You take advantage of that.
Hey, if you were the prom king in your high school, but your high school was like 40 kids, you're not that awesome. You didn't have any competition.
That's insulting. That was Spot's girl. Yeah, Spot's wife was the prom queen.
Yeah, right, but there's like 3 girls in her graduating class. Does it matter as much?
Well, she's beautiful, but
but still, that's how life works. It does. Competition matters.
You know what I think about that a lot? Danny G, you ever see someone playing rec sports and they talk about their high school prowess, and you're like, yeah, there's no way you were a good athlete. And you're like, who did you go to high school with? Like 4 people? Like, there's guys I play rec softball with, and they're like, yeah, back in the day when I was all county. I'm like, what county?
Yeah, meanwhile, Rich has J.J. McCarthy face paint on.
Hey, listen, I'm balling, bro.
Yes. Hey,
I told you I had a 49er little, not fun fact. There's nothing really fun about it, but really interesting. More so than the whole Morstead hasn't punted since he was having Thanksgiving leftovers. Mm-hmm. The 40 Miners, they're mine. They're my team. The 49ers. They might not have to leave the Bay Area until August.
I did not know that. Then again, you're the schedule watcher.
Think about it. If the 49ers win on Sunday night against the Bears, then it's a all or nothing Week 18, and they're going to make that the primetime game against the Seahawks. Niners-Seahawks, winner would get the 1 seed.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say the Niners win that game. Then the path to the Super Bowl goes through San Francisco. So they play against the Bears in Santa Clara. They play against the Seahawks. Then the playoffs would go through Santa Clara, and then the Super Bowl is in San Francisco this year. So if the 49ers win, they don't have to leave the Bay until next season.
Dude.
So if you think comfort and not having to travel plays a factor, the 49ers could unpack the bags. McCaffrey could be hanging out with Olivia Culpo and his beautiful baby. George Kittle could be hanging out with his awesome wife. And Juszczyk could be, designing jackets with his, girlfriend. And so this could all be easy breezy. Niners just got to win.
Now, look, realistically, what Randy Macho Man Savage said rings true. The cream rises to the top regardless, but this is all great for the 49ers. What you're saying is the 11-4 49ers have everything going for them because not only strength of schedule and not having to leave for a while.
What else did Macho Man say? Any other words of wisdom that come to mind?
Snap into it. That's one of my favorites.
What about Slim Jim? What about when he proposed to Elizabeth and he's like, Elizabeth, will you marry me?
What is it? What does he say about 360, 180?
360, 180, Yeah.
But what Rich is also
do that
saying
again,
is,
Elizabeth.
will you marry me?
They have a lot of things going their way because
he's not here to humor you, Sam.
They're clicking at just the right time. So not only do they have to not travel and haven't punted and all that good stuff, they're clicking. Their offense seemed unstoppable against the Colts this week. They moved the ball down the field with ease. They made it look easy, and they scored at will. So it seems like, Rich doesn't want to get ahead of himself as the excited 49ers fan, but they've got everything in their favor right now. And I don't hear a lot of people buzzing about the 49ers. Maybe until this past week.
Yeah. Say, sometimes better to go under the radar. Reading the feedback, wishing everyone a Merry Christmas. Say, like you said, a lot of people chiming in live. What's up, Scott, William, Michelle, Mike?
Merry Christmas, you filthy animal.
You're going to go to Little Nero's Pizza tonight, Sam.
Buzz, your girlfriend. Woof.
Speaking of Buzz's girlfriend, I have a Christmas thought we're going to get to next. But Danny G, who do we got on the phone? Who are we wishing a Merry Christmas to here on the Dan Patrick Show?
Let's start listening to AM 570 in L.A. Travis.
Yo, what's up, Trav?
Hey, Travis.
Hey, you guys haven't mentioned baseball yet, but I know that, Rich, I think you don't care about the Mets doing liquidation because you're going to flip to the Dodgers.
I know people speculate that I'm jumping ship.
Oh, yeah, he drops little seeds here and there just to let everybody know that he's about to make the move.
That would be the weakest sports fan, Benedict Arnold, weakest ass move of all time if I dropped the Mets after 40-plus years.
It's the standard move. Let me tell you something. If you have a wife or girlfriend and she drops a name every once in a while, that's the dude she ends up with. And Rich drops the Dodgers a lot, and he always talks about how his kids are Dodgers fans. He brings that up to everyone who's willing to listen, just so he could forewarn us for when it happens. It's all a big foreshadowing.
I think the Mets decimating their team, and I saw a little. Someone did a little AI of Edwin Diaz, Pete Alonso, Jeff McNeil, Brandon Nimmo, all walking away from Citi Field, all sad looking. Listen, if I'm those guys, I'm not sad. Go live your life. Edwin Diaz is going to be entering Dodger Stadium to Timmy Trumpets. Life's good for Edwin Diaz. And Pete Alonso is going to be in Baltimore, where he's probably the coolest thing that's happened to them since Cal Ripken Jr., when you really think about it. Maybe Brady Anderson, or who else comes to mind?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Jim Palmer when our parents were younger. Baltimore has been thirsting. They're like Thurston Howell III. They're thirsting for a superstar.
Since Brooks Robinson.
And, Covino, that small outfield wall, Pete Alonso is going to hit 50 home runs, and everyone in Baltimore is going to appreciate him. The Mets are like the crappy ex-girlfriend that didn't tickle his, the Mets never appreciated Pete Alonso. And I'm a Mets fan. I think it's disgusting. When the Mets are wanting to give guys and granted, he's a star, but when you're hearing these big deals, they want to give a guy like a Cody Bellinger or some of these folks, and the Mets won't want to give Pete more than 3 years. Good for him to tell the Mets to beat it and
what
go
about Adam
else.
Jones, bro, on the Orioles? He was a beast.
Yeah, but you know what?
How about Brady Anderson?
I said that Brady Anderson.
His sideburns
for 1 year.
How about Mike Flanagan?
Mike, what about Mike? Wasn't Mike Messina dominant for a minute?
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
The Moose.
Absolutely. Yeah. So they've had some great players, but this is a big deal for sure for them. So, Rich is the Mets fan. Thank you, Travis, for the call. Always take your phone calls. The most interactive, most inclusive show on radio. 877-99 on Fox. And like I said, live chat. You can watch the show. Covino and Rich, FSR.
Can't believe you guys left out Eddie Murray.
Yeah, but, that's way back.
You know who else leaves out Eddie Murray? Everyone in the media when they talk about,
the best
legends.
switch hitters of all time.
You know why? Because apparently Eddie Murray was a jerk.
It's true.
You get that?
That's the legend.
You've heard that story many a times where Eddie Murray, depending on how you ask a legend like Rob Parker who works here at FSR. There's certain athletes that are kind, and ones that are not. And if you're a jerk to everyone in the media, you could be the greatest. But no one's going to do you any favors and talk about how great you are. Just how it is. All right. You know what, Cove? There's a few things I want to get to coming up. It's a Christmas Eve extravaganza as we fill in for Dan Patrick. So there's a deep thought about movies and sports I want to get to. And there's a new NBA tradition. You tell me. Let's choose our own little Christmas adventure.
I want to talk about the NBA tradition because I know what you're talking about. It's the Spurs here. And it's a really simple question that we ask you, Fox Sports Radio Nation. Is it cool or corny? The new Spurs tradition. Wembanyama, took it upon himself as a leader to introduce this new tradition. And, man, I could sum it up by this, Rich. I could say that it's cool for them and probably corny for everybody else because traditions, I think, are supposed to happen organically. Or has every tradition as we know it been forced in some sort of way? It shouldn't feel forced, like a nickname. You can't force a nickname.
Before we give you the new Spurs tradition, Danny G has it queued up on standby. I want to think of some of the other things we've seen in the last, in our lifetime. Let's go from 1980 till now.
All right, can I give you like an example of what I meant though? It's cool for them, corny for everybody else. Like the rally monkey in Anaheim. Like that was the weakest gimmicky tradition for them or for everybody else, but cool for them.
Why do you got a problem with the rally monkey?
Because let's be real, that's kind of corny, right?
What did the rally monkey? What did the rally monkey ever do to you?
I wasn't a fan of it. As a Yankees fan, I say no.
Let me give you one in the NBA. I'm gonna start naming sports traditions, and just give me your first instinct. Don't overthink it. I want the Steve Covino, who thinks he's the coolest guy in the world, barometer on this. I'm going to give you.
I'm willing to give you my opinion
because you're the first guy.
Most of them are cool.
You're the first guy.
When you see them unfurl and develop before your eyes, it takes away, pulls back the curtain on the origin of it.
And I say this like kindly. Covino is, and we all have friends like this, and Covino speaks on behalf of a lot of dudes where your instinct for a lot of things like, F that, corny.
It's like a sixth sense. You were born without it, Rich. Like you
say, look at that.
You don't have that corny, I guess, instinct where you could pick up on it. Like, nah, man, that's just lame. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, like Covino's like, if they play the Macarena at a wedding, that's when Covino dips away to get a drink. I'm the guy that's like, let's do it.
I don't jump in the conga line for Buster Poindexter. Rest in peace. He was a great performer, but I'm not feeling hot when that song comes on. You know why?
Also in the movie Scrooge.
Corny. Yeah, it's just the truth, man. Like, some things are corny, and you also have to let things develop a little bit. But
okay, let me give you a couple, and then we'll do? We'll break and come back and talk about the Spurs' new tradition. But let me hit you with a couple now. You tell me.
Sure.
Corny or it's cool. In Sacramento, like a year ago or so, when they started to do the light the beam, and after the game, a big beam of light comes out of the arena.
I thought that was kind of cool, but I don't feel like it caught on the way they wanted to. So, I think the public picked up on the fact that it's just not that cool. But I wasn't hating on it.
That started in 2022. So, in your mind, nope. Okay.
Yeah, not really. It's not really hitting.
It's been going on for a little while now. How does Steve Covino feel about touchdown scored in Green Bay, Wisconsin, followed by a Lambeau leap?
Now, dude, that feels like tradition, right? Does it not?
Okay.
Does it not feel like tradition that happened organically? Like, that's the difference. That's the difference of organic and forced. And, some people could smell that a mile away. And to me, that one has been around long enough where it's just tradition. That's just how it is. Nothing corny about it.
All right.
You know what I find corny, though? Cheeseheads. Wearing a block of cheese on your head? I would never do that.
All right.
Yeah, that's cheesy.
All right, you know what? I'm gonna bring up a bunch of others, and we'll talk about the Spurs, who, by the way, they just seem to have OKC's number. We'll get to that, and of course, a bunch of more NFL, some Christmas stuff, having fun in for the legendary Dan Patrick and the Danettes. Covino and Rich, right here on Fox Sports Radio.
There's two other superstars in football and basketball that are toying around with the retirement idea. Let's talk football first, because Stephen A. went on this rant today saying, I think Kelsey's going to retire after this season. No big stretch, because I believe it too. I was surprised he came back this season. Okay. And now they're what? 6-7, and they're out of it. What more to play for? The guy's done it all. You think he's going to come back for the rebuilding of a Chiefs organization? The guy's on his way out. No one wants to be a detriment to their team either. And I'm not saying he is, but if they're going to look younger and build, and Mahomes needs some good receivers, young receivers, I don't know if Kelsey's in the mix. His priorities are different.
Okay.
He already has a career in broadcasting. He has a bride-to-be. The future's bright for him elsewhere.
Hit me with option number 2.
So Kelsey, again, Stephen A. talking about it today, and it's gone viral. Then the other one is LeBron, but hear me out, because people are saying he's got like one more year left. LeBron, it's season 23. That's his magic number, right? 23rd season. Let's say, and I would never wish this upon anybody, but I think teams like OKC would be in their way, right?
Do you mean the 23-1 OKC?
But let's say, and I would never wish this, Rich. I would never, ever wish this, but this is sports. Let's say someone on OKC gets hurt. Not wishing it on anybody. I'm knocking wood, in fact, right?
Yeah.
That opens up the lane even more for a Lakers team who's hot. They're playing good. They got young, they got veterans, they got old, they got everything.
Can't disagree.
Right? Let's say the Lakers win, and it's his 23rd season, magic number, last win, last hurrah. You don't think he retires? My question is, who's more likely to retire, a la Cejudo style, after this season, Kelsey or LeBron, if they win?
I have an obvious
I think LeBron's going to still play one more year.
I think the answer is obvious.
Kelsey?
No.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What? I thought for sure you would say.
And I'll explain.
Maybe it's not as obvious as maybe we don't need that wrench of Lakers winning then.
I think LeBron's proven it all.
Okay.
And if there's no path to a championship and there's teams that are in his way, like you said, the Lakers are a top, I would say 3 to 5 team in the NBA. The Lakers look good. It's fun to watch the Lakers.
Dude, Reeves putting up crazy numbers. They're comparing him to stat-wise to Kobe Bryant now.
I'm just saying they're
using the word superstar to describe Austin Reeves.
Exactly.
Now.
They've already sort of moved past LeBron being the centerpiece. That's Luka now.
Yeah. But a major piece
and,
still.
You know, Austin Reeves, and they may go after another big star if LeBron were to walk away. I think Travis Kelce, I'll look at it this way. You know when you have a lot in the future? I know recently you were like, in your mind, you're like, dude, I got my daughter's Sweet 16, then I got this. And when you have all these things on the horizon, right, you try to cram things in and you don't. My point is this. He's getting married June 13th. They made the announcement, him and Taylor Swift, June 13th.
He's got a top 25 podcast making millions.
13, her little lucky number symbolic. So they're getting married. And then I bet you within a year, because, they're at the age, they have every resource possible, they're going to have a kid. And I bet you that he runs it back one more time. After the career he's had, I don't think you go out the one time you don't make the playoffs. I feel like it's like Tom Brady wouldn't want to go away. You remember Tom Brady, the last interception he threw for the Patriots? It's like, you're not going to go out like that.
I think he's not in Cypress Hill. He's on the Chiefs.
I'm not going out like that.
We ain't going out like that. We ain't going out. I think that gives him more reason to be like, it's over. Like, this run is over.
He has a very bright post-football career, but it's almost like once you stop, you're never going to go back, right? So if he has any desire to play one more time, where I think LeBron could, with all good conscience, I played with my son, I've won on 3 different teams. It's a good question. Your thoughts at 877-99 on Fox.
Well, you and I thought it was obvious, and you and I completely disagree.
Yeah,
I think if anyone's going to retire, it's Kelsey. And I think LeBron's got like one more year because when he announced it already and taken in that farewell tour?
I'm looking at it from another angle. You're saying who's going to retire. I'm saying who would want to run it back more, and I think LeBron doesn't need to. Kelsey would not want to go out like this. Dan Byer, what say you? And let's get an update, man. What's up?
I'm not breaking a tie, but I am siding with Covino. I think Kelsey. I think it's at the end of the rope.
Oh.
Yes, and I think that LeBron, even with the Lakers' success this season, which has mostly been without him, that he wants that farewell tour that Covino mentioned, and I still think that there's an opportunity he would go and play elsewhere next year.
Yeah, man,
to try to do it on his own terms.
Yeah, with LeBron, don't you think if it was his end, we would know it? I think so. Welcome back to the show. Always an honor, always a pleasure filling in for the great Dan Patrick. We're Covino and Rich, wishing you a happy holiday. Merry Christmas Eve. A Merry Christmas Eve, Steve. Steve Covino.
Stuck.
Rich Davis. Normally we're on from 5 to 7 on the East, 2 to 4 on the West, but search our YouTube. Catch us anytime. Covino and Rich FSR streaming live. And Rich, with the success of our college basketball bracket challenge each March, we decided to do a bracket challenge for the college football playoff.
Playoff?
Yeah, I knew it was coming. Now that there's 8 teams left standing, it's bracket challenge time. We talked about it before. No one cares about your bracket, but it's fun to do yours, your own. Compete against our Fox Sports Radio hosts and against fellow listeners to see who has the best college football bracket. Play for your chance to win $1,000.
You say playoffs?
$1,000. I did. And here's how you do it. foxsportsradio.iheart.com to register.
Playoffs?
Wait. What's that address again?
foxsportsradio.iheart.com. Get the rules. Fill out your bracket.
Thank you.
And entry will be open until kickoff, 7:30 p.m. Eastern on New Year's Eve later today. So fill out your bracket, foxsportsradio.iheart.com. Your chance to win $1,000.
Who you got going the whole way?
Oh, New Year's Eve, not Christmas Eve. New
Year's Eve.
Yeah. So, still do it now and enjoy. Have a good time.
Who you got,
Again, I'm
Sucker?
Covino. That is Rich. I'm not giving it up yet, man. Who you got? I'll give up my secrets.
Our pal Dan Byer, who's the main update guy here at Fox Sports Radio, he's an Ohio State fan, and I like his sentiment of Indiana had their great moment a week ago. Mendoza then goes on to win the Heisman, but come playoff time.
Please say future Raider Mendoza.
Future Raider Mendoza. I don't know. I think he's had a good run, but I don't know. In a playoff situation, I don't know, Ohio State, maybe. I don't know. It's going to be fun. And I'm a casual college football fan. Fanatical NFL fan. When it comes to college, I'll casually watch. But I think the playoff has been a success. And I speak on behalf of the guy that watches college football way less than the pros. But I think they made a good move. When it was just the national championship, I don't know. I think it lacked the pizzazz it has now. But back to the NBA, and not just the NBA, traditions around sports. And you get that feeling sometimes when they're trying to force something.
Right. I get that feeling, but I also have to commend Wemby on his leadership, though.
Yeah.
I do commend that, and I respect that he's trying to create a buzz and trying to create a thing, but I feel that traditions shouldn't feel forced and they should happen organically. Wemby and the Spurs unveiled a new tradition after their big win versus OKC.
Do you mean the team that they're 2-0 against, but no one else has beat them except one time?
They're playing solid. So winning should be the tradition, but they want to enhance that a little bit, right? And they had a big what was that big? What did Spot play in high school in the marching band?
Spot,
a big bass drum?
What did you play when you won? You played the bass drum, right?
You played the tuba and the bass drum, right, Spot?
I played the trumpet.
Oh, I was close.
Thought so.
So he takes the mic and he instructs the crowd on how to do it. So I give him a lot of credit for this.
I think you're being too cool for the room if you don't think young superstar Wemby. I thought this was amazing. Danny G, play the clip of Wemby after a big win.
I would like, with my teammates, to introduce a little new tradition that we've been working on with the Jackals over there. So please, everybody, arms up in the air, spread your arms. Everybody spread your arms. And do just like the Jackals. Go ahead.
Hit that bass drum, Wemby.
Yeah! We will rock you.
Listen, San Antonio going nuts for Wemby.
But they have their hands up like this. They stole that from the Vikings.
But they're not saying skull. I mean,
I know, but that belongs to the
very
Vikings.
much the Vikings. They're not doing a regular hand clap, for the record, if you haven't seen it yet. Danny G's right. They're doing like the hands above the head sort of thing. Vikings
like
style.
The YMCA style. That's Vikings.
And I'm not hating. I'm just stating that it feels a little corny. That's all. You're asking me. I'm not here to criticize Wemby. I think he's great. I think he played a great game. I love how they played against OKC. Props to them. I'm not trying to hate on them. Not hating, just stating. Some traditions. Hold on. Some traditions are cool. Some are corny. Some take time, dude. So, this is fresh. It's like when you hear a song for the first time. People are like, do you like it? Well, sometimes it takes a minute to grow on you. Give me a second. And it's brand new. We rarely see how they start in this way, and that's why it feels a little weird. Like he's sort of instructing the tradition.
Carrie.
Is that how they start? Like even a holiday tradition, Rich? Is it you presenting it?
Listen, dude, my kids are 5 and 8, and my wife and I have talked about how a tradition needs to start somewhere. Like if every Christmas Eve you go around with the kids and do some,
Yeah, but isn't it usually because like that's what Grandpappy Davis did?
Yeah, but sometimes you got to start your own traditions if you come from a family that doesn't really have many. You and your family start a tradition. I think Wemby is saying this is the
you could also acknowledge
he's saying this is the next chapter in San Antonio Spurs history. We pay respect to the legends of Tim Duncan and David Robinson, but this is a new era, and I'm breaking out this big ass bass drum, and I think it's cool, man. Like,
I don't want to hate on the guy. I'm just telling you what I feel in my bum.
Let me throw more at you.
I feel
Fireman Ed.
A hint of corny.
Fireman Ed with his JETS Jets.
I never liked it. I'm not going to lie.
All right, Kerry in Minnesota has up, and Kerry said, "I'm a Vikings fan." Kerry said, "I'm a Vikings fan, lifelong, but I think the skull chant could be corny." I don't know. There's a bunch of them. You can name every tradition, and a guy like Steve Covino is going to just think everything's corny. So, we'll go over a couple more of those next. Plus, we'll talk some Christmas stuff, and, of course, so many big matchups. Week 17 of the NFL. In for the great Dan Patrick and the Dan F's. Covino Rich, Fox Sports Radio. Christmas Eve. Let's go.
It's Covino and Rich on Fox Sports Radio. Are you ready?
Yes! We talk about pop culture. We talk about sports. We talk about life.
It's a friendship on the radio.
When you talk about the best athlete in the world, you're probably thinking Jim Thorpe, right?
I'm thinking Bo Jackson.
I'd have to throw myself at the age of 12 into the conversation.
You are the home run champion. When you find the commonality between sports and life, those analogies and conversations are the best. You were dating some girl, and you were like, "Hey, babe, let's watch The Sixth Sense." Her mom walked in. "Can you believe he was dead the whole time?"
I wanted to get up.
Well, slow down, Dana White.
I don't want to say It's never boring.
If the Chiefs win.
Sorry, Patrick Mahomes here. What do you mean by if the Chiefs win? Our friendship is real. It's authentic. You can't fake the fun.
We're the type of guys you'd want to hang out with at a sports bar. Best way to pick someone up at a bar?
Yeah.
Go up to a cute girl and say, "Oh, look at that bozo over there," and I'll point to you. We could make fun of each other, poke each other a little bit.
I call him Blubber Lips, Rich Davis, because he never stops talking.
He thinks he's the Mexican Fonz.
Yeah.
At any point, he's wearing a chain. You have a chain on?
Always.
Of course he has a chain on.
That's like asking me if I'm wearing cologne right now. Of course I am. We take a lot of pride in being inclusive and interactive on our show. Just the more the merrier.
Josh, Covino thinks that every man should own a leather jacket.
I only wear vegan leather.
Can you believe this guy?
I can't believe this guy. We have a very special connection with our audience, our listeners. People feel that friendship.
And I appreciate y'all so. I love it.
It's all for you. Thank you.
Mike Tyson, Covino, loves to just challenge us with random Mike Tyson trivia.
Which accomplished celebrity purchased my sprawling Connecticut estate?
I'm going to go 50 Cent.
You are absolutely correct, 50 Cent. I love his song.
You can't schedule a big event during a big sports moment.
My family member scheduled their wedding the same night as a Julio Cesar Chavez fight. Everyone was glued to that fight instead of doing the electric slide.
This is weak.
Unbelievable. You're very tricky.
America, you got sports, you got fun, you got us.
Covino and Rich.
We're crushing it.
Let's start in the NFL. Niners tight end George Kittle may not play Sunday against the Bears at Levi's Stadium due to an ankle sprain he suffered in their win over the Colts. Packers quarterback Jordan Love did participate in meetings and walkthrough yesterday, but remains in concussion protocol ahead of Saturday's game against the Ravens at Lambeau. Speaking of the Ravens, Lamar Jackson did not practice due to a back injury. NBA, Dylan Brooks dropped in 25 to help the Suns knock off the Lakers 132-108. Spurs crushed the Thunder by 20. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, game-high 33, said the Spurs playing the game on their terms.
They got whatever they wanted offensively, and then defensively they had it stagnant. And when you play against a good team, you can't play like that for long periods of time because it'll chip away at itself. And next thing you know, you look up and there's a big lead.
Pistons beat the Kings, improved to 24-6. On the ice, Connor McDavid assisted on all 5 goals in the Oilers' win over the Flames. That's sports. I'm Ronza Moss.
Dan Patrick. Welcome to the Dan Patrick Show.
We are the most unathletically decorated show in radio history, I think.
America's most revered sports talk show.
Respect the position that you have.
But today, Dan Patrick and the 4 Danettes are not here. No! So sitting in for Dan Patrick and hosting the Dan Patrick Show, here's Steve Covino and Rich Davis.
Good morning, buddies. How are you?
Always a pleasure to be here. Merry Christmas Eve. Happy holidays. Hope you had a happy Hanukkah.
Holidays.
And I hope you're enjoying time with friends and family. A nice day off, and I hope you enjoy the show. Covino and Rich. Our show's 5 to 7 on the East, Monday through Friday, 2 to 4 on the West. We have a Patreon as well every day, so appreciate being here in for Dan Patrick. Fox Sports Radio, 877-99 on Fox. Get interactive, get involved, and we're streaming live like always. Hit up our YouTube page and follow, please. Covino and Rich FSR. In fact, it's our way of bribing people to check us out. We'll give away some Nerf footballs. Danny G picks names every once in a while from new followers. People leaving comments like Talica fan in Missouri. Michelle hitting us up. Carrie Kuhneman hitting us up. If Danny G calls your name out or hits you up, you could win a prize. In fact, we're giving more away, too, when we play Mike's Wednesday Words of Wisdom. And we got Midweek Major coming up. So an action-packed program.
Now, when it comes to team traditions, let's wrap this and get into more NFL. Wemby on the Spurs after this team continues to just find a way to beat.
What were your thoughts? What were your thoughts when you saw him do this?
I think it's cool as hell. You know me. I'm a sucker for gimmicky stuff. I like Grimace on the Mets.
That's the thing. But Grimace is corny, and Timmy Trumpets was cool. It was. And now the Dodgers got it.
Yep. Well, I know.
Right?
But when it comes to traditions, they got to start somewhere. And at first, it might feel forced, but I feel like maybe everything feels that way at first a little bit.
That's why I said you got to give it time to really see.
I feel like it needs to be original, too. This is Skull. This is Vikings. I would like it more if it was something we've never seen before. That would be like if we did a new game for Covino and Rich, and it was a game that was on the show right before us. And we're like, yeah, this is our new tradition, this new game. I don't think our listeners would take it the same way as if it was original, like Last One Standing or Brainwave or the original games we do have that you don't hear anywhere else.
You know, I'm reading the feedback, Danny G, and people are agreeing with that sentiment. But, like, for instance, is Skull with the horn? I was saying, hit me with some Minnesota horn. And the clap, is that like so original that like if Wemby and the Spurs clap, we can't do that? Listen to Wemby last night again, and I thought this is cool. Again, they find a way to beat Oklahoma City, which seems like no one else could do, which I think is so good for the NBA, Danny, because what was the feeling we had a week ago? Man, OKC seems unbeatable. In a 7-game series against the Spurs, it seems like that could be a battle that we look forward to in 5 months from now. Listen to Wemby.
I would like, with my teammates, to introduce a little new tradition that we've been working on with the Jackals over there. So please, everybody, arms up in the air. Spread your arms. Everybody spread your arms.
Yeah.
And do just like the Jackals.
Yeah. Wemby's like a club MC. Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I respect the leadership.
I don't know. I think it's cool. But then again,
I'll say this, Rich, it's better than no vibe, right? I mean, you have to try to create a vibe, and it's better than nothing. But you asked the question. My honest answer is you got to give it some time to see. When you see it start, it feels a little forced, but I guess that's how every tradition happens. Mm-hmm. Although I do feel that there's more of an organic route at times. And just because I think it's corny doesn't mean that it won't work. Like, I think the hip flexor thing that the Dodgers do is corny as hell. And they're a likable team. They're likable, and I love them, but them doing their little goofy dance on second base is goofy to me. But hey, do they win a World Series? Are they playing?
Covino, did you like the bumping of the jock straps better?
Yeah, Covino, that's my kind of tradition.
Yeah, Covino does that all the time.
Now that's cool,
and he's not even on the team. But
that's
see,
that's how I greet Iowa Sam every Monday.
I don't like.
That's true.
I don't like the Dodgers. But how do you not think that that's sort of like a fun thing? Like, they're so good, they get on second base a little.
It's fun, I guess, but it does feel a little goofy. No. You don't feel like some of those players are a little too cool to be doing that, but it works for them.
But I have a question.
So it doesn't matter if I think it's corny or not. It works. They play great.
If Freddie Freeman, Mookie
you know what,
Betts,
Rich? Winning makes it cool. So that's really, I guess, the point here. If the Spurs continue to win, guess what? That becomes cool.
If Freddie, Mookie, and Ohtani do it,
yeah,
Steve Covino's the one that thinks it's not cool?
It's a little goofy. Hey, I'm a Yankees fan, man. And,
all right, let me ask you.
The tradition there is
Yankees roll
championships.
Call. Yankees roll call.
I like it. I think it's really cool. I think it's a cool tradition. I thought when Mo Rivera came out, cool tradition. It's just, again, things that happen organically, things that stick. That's the difference. Now, how do you make this cool? You win. You keep on winning. You keep beating OKC and teams that people say you can't beat. Props to Wemby, though. That dude plays hard, man. I watched all the highlights last night.
So you think Yankees roll call is cool and everything else is corny? Got it.
Hey, hold on. Did I not say when it comes to the Spurs and most traditions, cool to them, corny to everybody else? You think I'm supposed to like other people's corny traditions? No. Same with your holiday traditions. You like what you do. I'm not going to necessarily like everything other people do.
I get what you're saying, though. When something feels
like, there's
forced,
a bunch of people that probably want to open up their presents tonight. And I'm like, why? What are we in England? Why not? Why not till Christmas morning? Santa comes tomorrow. My tradition's right.
Wait, and you're half Mexican? Because a lot of Latino families do Christmas Eve.
Yes, but I'm Mexican-American. So maybe you get like one present on Christmas Eve, but you wait until Christmas morning. My point is, though, whatever you are used to doing is what's okay and normal and cool to you.
Yeah. You know what I used to think was cool? Back in the day, maybe 20 years ago, I thought it was a really cool idea when people would have a Christmas, like an ugly sweater party. And then what happened was companies all started making ugly sweaters, which I think took away what was cool about the idea of an ugly sweater. Like an ugly
Robert Herjavec and his tipsy elves.
Like an ugly sweater, the whole cool part about it used to be like, yo, your aunt actually bought that sweater and it's ugly as hell.
Yeah, you had to find your Uncle Bart's sweater and it smelled like cigarettes.
And, oh my God, do you know anyone that has like an old ass sweater that's hideous? But then you start making ugly sweaters, then it seems forced. I get the forced nature of what you're saying. So
authenticity, I think, is the word too. Is to feel authentic. You know, that's the difference. That's what goes off and makes you feel a little corny.
Hey, what about the Cubs throwback?
Does anybody know? Wait, hold on. Where did this come from, the Spurs thing? Like, what's the significance?
Wemby just came up with it.
But what's the significance? Is there any sort of tie-in with the San Antonio Spurs?
I don't know what you're talking about.
That's what I mean. Like, is there some sort of cultural significance, regional significance? Like, does it mean anything? I don't know.
I don't know, bro. Do people in Green Bay, Wisconsin like to leap? When they talk about the Lord's leaping in that song, are they talking about people in Green Bay? Like, I mean,
I'm just wondering. Honestly, I'm wondering what the context is, or is this something he just farted out and thought of in his sleep?
I'm reading right now that this Viking clap had a lot of success during the Euro Cup in 2016, and because he's a French professional basketball player,
better than the vuvuzela, I guess.
Yeah, so I think that's why it's part of his repertoire, but it just I don't know. You look in the comments last night and this morning, and all the Vikings fans are in there like, rip off, you're biting off of us.
Hey, and seriously, Rich, I don't want to hate on Wemby or the Spurs. I actually like them a lot. I'm just telling you right now what my first instinct is. But like I said, like a song, there's some songs that I don't like at first, and then they get to me. Hey, Christmas Wrappings. The first time I heard that song, I was like, this is the worst Christmas song I ever heard. It's my favorite song right now. My favorite Christmas song of all time.
You forgot Cranberries too?
Yeah, the Waitresses, Christmas Wrappings. I was like, who are these ho-hum women singing about Christmas time? This is the worst song I ever heard.
Bah humbug, and that's what's up.
It's my favorite holiday. Yeah, man. And I was like, this song's terrible. Guess what? Love it now. It's one of my favorites. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. So things take time to build. If the fans get behind it and they continue to win, it doesn't matter what any of us think. It doesn't matter what I think. It doesn't matter what anyone thinks. It will be cool to them.
What about when the Cubs throw back a home run?
Cool. I like it. Get your stupid home run out of here. I love it. They take me out to the ball game, 7th inning stretch. Love it. Tradition. But like you always say, Rich, sometimes tradition is making the same mistake over and over again.
I love the Mets, how they play Lazy Mary during the 7th inning stretch. Gets everyone pumped up. And the Yankees,
I like that too.
The Yankees,
I think that's
great. I think it is pretty cool when the grounds crew does the YMCA.
I love when there's some regional cultural tradition when they play Sinatra, New York at the end of a win. I think that's great. Like that's why I asked the significance. Like, is there some sort of tie-in with San Antonio? Like, was this some sort of battle drum that they fought with back in the day? I don't know what it is. So. Go ahead, Sam.
I was going to say, I have a question for you guys. I mean, Greg Popovich, who's still with the organization, he's not the head coach anymore, but he won 5 titles between 1999 and 2014. You would think during that championship culture and run, you would develop some traditions. I'm not that familiar with Spurs basketball, but if you win 5 titles in 15 years, shouldn't you have some traditions?
That's a great point, Sam. You should say that they should have one when they had this sweet run. Like, how did they not? That maybe that's what they were lacking, a little personality. So it's
not
just going to
maybe.
take time.
Look at who was the face of their organization during a lot of that run.
Timmy Duncan.
Yeah, no nonsense, winning championships.
Just a great ball player.
Big fundamentals going on there. Yeah.
Let me hit you with one more, and then we can move on. Like, it happens in our lifetime when they change stadiums and looks and gimmicks and everything. What about when the Seahawks, who went from the old school Steve Largent Kingdom Seahawks of our childhood to becoming the 12th man, and they raised the flag? Is that
super
cool to
dope.
you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. I think that's super dope.
Well, hey, your thoughts at Covino and Rich. And
not all traditions are corny.
Let us know what your favorite traditions are in sports, because Wemby's trying to start a new one in San Antonio. And you know what? I think it's pretty cool for San Antonio, which is a great city, great basketball city, that they had all that success. They competed, because they never won back-to-back. There's a sense that they don't get the respect they should with the Lakers and some of the other dynasties and the Bulls and the Heat for a minute, like the Golden State Warriors. No one talks about the Spurs because, again, never back-to-back, but a great basketball city, and they're right there again because of Wemby, Fox, and some of these young great players.
Yeah, props to these young guys making a difference. And speaking of young players, man, Cooper Flagg lighting it up yesterday. Anthony Edwards playing big. Just cool to see these young dudes taking over the NBA. And I do want to say one last thing. I don't want to be hard on Wemby. I actually root for the guy. I like watching him play. And I think it takes a lot of cojones to get out there in front of 40,000 people and try to get everyone to play along and try to make something happen. So corny or not, I give him credit for that. I think that's a bold sort of move.
Danny G, phones are lit. Who do you want to talk to? We'll talk to some peeps, and then we'll talk a little tradition, because there's a funny story involving my pal Steve Covino, and it has to do with whether or not old school movies and old school sports translate now.
Let's start in Greenville, South Carolina. Rocky wants to weigh in on traditions.
Yo, what's up, Rocky?
Yeah, absolutely.
What's up, Rock?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Rocky.
Good morning. Merry Christmas to you guys.
Back at you.
I've never called your show. I listen to you here and there. Unfortunately, here in Greenville, we have local shows, so you guys aren't on the air here.
You could always hear us on the iHeart app.
Yeah, man.
I know. I do, and I have that, so I've done that. But on the Lambeau Leap, and I'm in Greenville, South Carolina. I am a South Carolina Gamecock fan, and on the Lambeau Leap, I looked, and we had a receiver at South Carolina by the name of Robert Brooks, and who played for Green Bay. Now, Leroy Butler was the first one to ever do it. It was on a return fumble of some kind, and he was the first one to do it. But actually, Robert Brooks popularized it in Green Bay when he was there. Every time he scored a touchdown, he did it. And that's kind of what kick-started it and got it going.
That's cool, man. That's a bragging right that more people should know that fun fact, like how it was Dusty Baker who was the first to high-five someone ever. Like, to me, those little fun facts are wild to me. That, like, it should be common knowledge who the first Lambeau leaper was.
I think Dusty Baker was on the receiving end.
The receiving end of the first high-five.
Yeah, it was Glenn Burke. Yeah. It was Glenn Burke, who they said was, how do I say this? On the Dan Patrick Show, a little zesty, right? And he got a lot of flack for that.
You're allowed to say he was gay. Like, I mean.
Yeah, no, it's true. That's the story, and I didn't write it. That is the story.
So you're saying the high five is zesty?
No, but Dusty Baker's side of it was like he didn't know what to do, so he threw his hand up, and it became a thing. And it almost feels impossible. Like, wait, so that they were the first people to do the high five? That's just a wild thought.
Who were the first two players to jump up and bump against each other?
Wasn't it Marcus Allen on Tecmo Bowl?
No, but you're right. That is a question. I'm trying to think. Like, who do you picture in the NBA after like a big 3-pointer jumping up and like essentially like bumping sides? Like, it's a good question.
That is a good question.
No one gets credit.
I feel like someone from the 90s.
No one gets credit for that. Who else we got, Danny G?
Let's go to Vegas, the homie Trip.
Yo, Trip. What's up, buddy?
Hey,
Merry
Trip.
Christmas, bud.
Hey, good morning. I just wanted to call in and say Merry Christmas to you guys. And it's always a pleasure to speak with y'all and listen to y'all. And then I had a question for tradition. Who was the first person? I don't know the answer. I know y'all can find out. Who was the first person to flash the 3 sign after hitting a 3-pointer?
Ooh.
That's a good question. One NBA celebration, I don't know, though, that
I don't know.
That at the time nobody was doing it. When D'Angelo Russell was a youngster on the Lakers, he was the first to do the
ice in my veins.
Ice in my veins.
Don't you have to go shee?
Yeah, the ice in my veins is a big one.
That's cool. Yeah, I thought that was cool.
You know what? We're never going to know the answer. So you could argue, well, why bring it up then? But you know what? There was a first person that did anything, really. Think in life. I know this is like a really deep. I'm not high, I promise you. Yeah, there was someone that did anything for the first time. There was an NFL player. We'll never be able to pinpoint it, but there was an NFL player that was the first to be like first down, and they like pointed like first, like did the little like George Kittle now. Obviously,
wasn't that Al Bundy at Polk High School? I think he started that.
Wait, did you? That might be true,
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now I just picture Kittle doing his little
first down thing. They're emulating the official, but they're kind of adding a little pizzazz.
Yeah,
to
but
it,
who is the first player to mimic the referee with like pizzazz, like doing their little first down? Who was Tim Brown maybe or something? I don't know.
Who was the first person to shout Kobe when they threw trash into a trash can?
Might have been you, Danny. Wasn't it you in the?
No, I learned that from somebody. I don't know who, but every day in our studio, you hear all the shows. I hear Kobe, and a wad of paper is flying into the can.
Isn't that amazing? So, yeah, but that's something that happened organically, right? So it's just like, wow, that's kind of cool how that just became a thing. That's the difference. just became a thing.
All right,
we all witnessed how it became a thing or how it's trying to become a thing last night.
Is Michael Jordan the answer for who is the first person to shoot a jump shot, nothing but the bottom of the net, and you leave the hand up, like you leave the hand hanging?
Maybe I could picture
is
the
Jordan,
shrug for sure.
Is
because
Jordan
people still shrug now?
Yeah, the shrug, but that was because he was just on fire. I'm not talking the shrug. I'm talking.
Yeah, but
like,
people emulate that.
I'm saying like leaving it up there, like after your shot, just leaving your hand up there because you know your mechanics are so perfect. Was it Jordan? There's someone that did everything the first time.
Was it Steph Curry? Was it Curry who put you to sleep?
Put you to sleep?
Yes, definitely. Yeah, definitely. So it's about being original. Danny G, you hit that point before, too. That's part of it. It has to be original. But winning could make it cool. The end. We'll see what happens. It'll be fun. We'll look back and be like, yeah, remember when they tried to do that thing? Didn't catch on.
Mets in 86, most notably for the curtain call after a big home run or something. Like, coming out of the dugout, waving to the fans. That was considered very arrogant, but that was very, 80s Mets. I'm thinking bat flip. Who is the first? Because now it's everyone. But we always think Joey Bautista, but I don't know if that was the first. That
was me in 88 Little League, bro. Union Little League, 1988.
When you hit your 24th home run in one season?
That was after I hit my 12th of the season. Yeah, I remember. After my first season in the big leagues.
Because, as you know, baseball's all about, the unwritten rules of, sportsmanship. So there was one person that went against the grain and said, F that, I'm going to flip my bat.
Bat flip was probably somebody flashy like a Ricky Henderson or a Kenny Lofton. Maybe they were the guys who sort of played that way.
I picture Ricky first to do the snap catch, right? Like anytime you catch a fly ball and you snap the glove down.
Yeah, but that's why they're legends. Originality, man. That's a big part of it. Danny G made a really good point.
Every time you flip at shortstop, was it you or Ozzie Smith?
Ozzie Smith, man. And I feel like that's one of the things that the Spurs' new tradition lacks. But they can make it their own. We'll see what happens. It takes a little time. Now, Rich, speaking of traditions, I want to set this up and just say that around the holidays, watching a good holiday classic starts to become a tradition, right? Like A Christmas Story. It plays so often that there's rarely a year that you probably don't see that movie.
Yeah, everyone has
at least see it, right? Maybe you don't sit through the whole thing, but you see it. But at one point, it was probably a tradition before you got sick of it.
Yeah, there's the same movies you watch every year with the kids or the family. Like I know the Frosties and the Rudolph claymation and Elf and Home Alone. There's
Charlie Brown.
Yeah, Charlie Brown. Every I kick off the Christmas season. I always watch Love Actually on Thanksgiving night.
Trash. I don't even want to fight about that. Too feeling too festive, Rich, to fight you on how trash that movie is. But growing up,
you gonna fight me on a movie that's on every list of the greatest holiday movies just because you don't like it?
It's a weak movie, dude. I challenge anybody to watch that weak-ass movie. Love Actually is trash.
He's
bro.
trash.
Trash.
I look at you and I think trash. How about that?
You can say it all you want. It's false. So, how do you say? I'm gonna sum it up with this. How do you say it's a Christmas movie when there's a whole porn plot line?
Jesus,
there's a porn scene.
Oh yeah.
Is that fun for the family? Yeah. The kiddies love that scene.
Yeah, I think love. You think Love Actually? You think porn?
I mean, it's in the movie. Is it not?
You mean like 1 10-second scene?
It's in the movie. If you have to cover a kid's eyes and grandma gets up because she feels awkward, it's not a Christmas movie. It's trash. So, and it's not even good. It's not. It's okay at best. It's the most overhyped Christmas movie.
All right. So, Covino has a theory on whether or not classics stand the test of time. And an experiment he did with a holiday classic, and then we'll tie that into sports because when you show people old sports stuff, there's a theory we got. So yes. That and a lot of people hitting us up with NFL calls because, here we are about to enter week 17, and we got 3 games on Christmas Day tomorrow. So a lot of NFL. We'll go a little throwback with the Christmas classics. So what else you want to get to, Covino?
Well, 'tis the season to give, and we want to give something to you, Dan Patrick listeners, Fox Sports Radio Nation. We have the Covino and Rich CNR on FSR. Turbo Grip Nerf football, perfect stocking stuffer. It's a great Nerf football for the holidays, and your chance to win if you could repeat Big Mike Mike, who runs this place?
Yeah.
If you could repeat his Wednesday words of wisdom, we do that next.
More CNR. In for Dan Patrick. Signed to the Bills practice squad, correct?
Michael Badgley, yeah.
Yes. Could be activated because Matt Prater was injured. So they've had some injuries at the kicking spot this year. So Badgley donning number 32, according to the Bills release.
Number 32 on the Bills.
Interessante.
Who's number 32 on the Bills? Danny G, a guy that we saw before he passed away on a Southwest flight.
With a huge head.
Giant noggin.
What's up, Juice? O.J. Simpson. Would you wear O.J. Simpson's uniform number if you were on the Buffalo Bills? Number 32? Is there some type of bad karma or bad feelings
It
there?
was not worn by anyone from 1977, OJ's last year, until 2019. Only 2 players have worn it since, so 1 player in 2019, 1 player in 2024. Not extensive use, just assigned to players, but now Badgley could be bringing it out.
Well,
Yeah,
I'd imagine
what are the karma rules here?
Before the alleged crime, well, he was sort of convicted of some stuff, but before OJ did all the doing, it was probably held because of retirement purposes, and he was a legend. And then alleged murders happen. And then that sort of gets taken off the shelf. Now time has passed where some young kids probably like, yeah, number 32.
So, like, the Cowboys don't retire numbers, but number 88 is a cherished number if you're a wide receiver with the Cowboys. Like, so that's one of the ways that they can do it. Hey, if you're that next wide receiver, Michael Irvin, Des Bryant, now CeeDee Lamb.
Syracuse does that with 44.
Yeah.
Jim Brown.
Sure.
I think if you're a Bills player, you skip that number, just like elevators skip the number 13. Like,
I agree.
Skip 32.
Like how In-N-Out is skipping 6-7, order number 6-7.
I'm sure they gave him a bunch of different options, and I think Badgley's probably wanted to be like, yeah, give me 32. Yeah. But that to me is messing with karma.
Yeah, there's certain things you avoid.
But it's not the same way. It's not the same way. Like you said, CeeDee Lamb, Michael Irvin, like 88's a legendary number in Dallas. What is it? 32 of you have murdering tendencies?
Yeah,
like that's
this
not.
It's a tainted number. That's why I think you stay away from it. What are the karma rules here? It's like, would you buy a home if someone was murdered there? Because it's a great deal. And you're like, yeah, but wouldn't you feel weird about that?
I even feel weird about.
I think that happens all the time.
I mean, it does happen all the time. But
rest in peace, Rob Reiner. That house is going to be sold to some other rich person that's going to have to accept the fact that Rob Reiner's, him and his wife were murdered there.
Look, I feel weird when people die in a house and I don't know about it.
Yeah. Do you know Covino's neighbor said to him? Get this.
Dude, I was in the elevator with some bobo, some bonehead, and he goes, "Hey, what's going on, neighbor?" I'm like, "Hey," and he goes, "Yeah, I used to be pretty friendly with the guy that lived at your place a few years back." And I was like, "Oh, that's cool. Is he a good guy?" He's like, "Yeah, sort of tragic how he died on the patio." I was like, "Dude, you had to tell me that."
They didn't tell you that when you bought it?
No.
Don't they have to disclose that?
Now every time I see my dog barking out into the nothing. I'm like, "What are you barking at?"
I thought there was a law or a rule that if someone dies in the dwelling and you sell it, you have to disclose that.
I thought that too, and I think that is a rule. I did not know, or law or whatever.
Yeah.
I did not.
You didn't ask.
I didn't know this information. It wasn't disclosed. It wasn't like a tragedy.
The patio
of
is the gray area.
Yeah, maybe. Hey, maybe. Right? And the guy saw
outside.
my reaction. He actually came to apologize to me later on. He's like, "Yeah, really sorry." I'm like, "Why would you even tell me that? Like, this is small talk, elevator talk, and you had to tell me that?" Now
You need like an hour to break this down.
Yeah, I'm like, geez, that's information I wish I didn't know.
You're talking about death and murder.
But again, that was just a death to my knowledge. Murder.
I would feel morally,
foreclosure.
I was going to say I would feel morally weird. I see people
morally weird.
I would feel people karma-wise. People buy houses and cars and stuff that are repoed or foreclosed on. I almost feel like that's sort of like, I don't know, like
you're capitalizing off of someone's misfortune.
Like someone's
right?
dream and misfortune went away, so I'm going to scoop up their house. Like I even think that feels a little weird to me.
So would you wear the 32 because it's available? That's synonymous with OJ and the Bills.
signed to the Bills practice squad, correct?
Michael Badgley, yeah.
Yes. Could be activated because Matt Prater.
Man, Sam, you really know how to butter my biscuits. My holiday biscuits. This is one of my favorites, bro. Christmas wrappings to waitresses. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas Eve. From our CNR on FSR family to yours, in for the great Dan Patrick. By the way, we're also in for Dan Patrick next Monday and Tuesday. Our segmented Dan Patrick hat trick.
Thanks for the warning.
Yeah. So everybody be warned. Right now, live from the Fox Sports Radio studio. I'm live in Idaho. Shout out to 99.9. Rapid Radio's the official walkie-talkie of the Dan Patrick Show. Push-to-talk service with national LTE coverage, requiring no subscriptions ever. Get them before bad weather occurs, Rich. It's bad out there in LA right now.
Dude.
Visit rapidradios.com now for up to 60% off and free shipping. A perfect gift for the holidays. Perfect gift anytime. Thanks again to Rapid Radios.
You know what people say? Oh, they really want a white Christmas. You know what no one says? Yeah, I want like a wet, rainy Christmas.
Soggy.
Blustering.
Soggy Christmas. And by the way, as we look at the 3 games for Christmas Day tomorrow, some of them such high hopes early on. Like the NFL does a great job of somehow, like, they just strike gold. Like they're Sourdough Sam, the 49ers mascot. They're striking gold constantly with, like, yo, this matchup and the games that they get in prime time are awesome. But Christmas Day just didn't work out the way they thought. The Chiefs didn't deliver on their end of the deal, where it's Broncos at Chiefs. Chiefs are done. Lions and Vikings, both out of the playoff mix. And the Commanders, you know, laid an egg after a great season last year, and the Cowboys came up short. So
no, man, Robin laid an egg.
Yep. So
doesn't it still feel like an NBA day to you? Anyways, though, to me, Thanksgiving football and Christmas Day basketball.
I agreed, but I feel like the NFL is trying to hijack.
I mean, I think they have
Christmas
sort of
Day and
hijacked, but like you said, with the bad games, this is a chance for the NBA to take their rightful throne.
Curious how the ratings will be. Well, we'll see, because these are 3 irrelevant NFL games. So the question will be, does an irrelevant NFL game still dominate the NBA in ratings? So we'll see tomorrow. Merry Christmas. Danny G, we're going to do Mike's Words of Wisdom in a little bit. We'll talk some more NFL, but you want to take a couple quick phone calls? I know people have been on hold. Let's say hi to Jay in Delaware. He just want to talk about strength of schedule, which is something we talked about last hour.
Really quick, Rich, just so the phone stop ringing about this. Ryan in Cincy and several others called in, citing the Chappelle Show 2004 for pioneering the Kobe. Do you remember the skit? Rashida Jones is famously in it, and Kobe, the fake Kobe, makes her sign a contract. Listen.
Don't tell anybody about this. From the makers of the love contract comes the confidentiality agreement.
Don't worry. I'm not going to tell anybody.
I know you won't, or I'll sue your ass. Kobe!
And that's where he shoots the condom into the wastebasket.
Was that the origin, or did that popularize something that
it popularized something? I think maybe we were already saying. I don't know, but
Kobe.
that's what blew it up and put it into our lexicon.
You know, sometimes something's been around, but a pop culture moment really enhances it. Like Covino and I have argued for years that I said the term MILF was from American Pie. And Covino's like, you think they invented that? I'm like, they didn't invent it, but because the popularity of American Pie right around the turn of the century, you know, MILF became a word we all sort of knew, no? I mean, maybe.
Yeah, I was claiming, like, man, me and my high school friends used to say MILF. It existed. So
I'll give you another one.
There is a difference. They did popularize it, though, for sure.
We've argued. We've been on, like, a Fox Sports Radio business trip, and when we're meeting for breakfast, you know, I'll knock on Covino's door, housekeeping. And I'm like, yo, Tommy Boy. And he's like, you think Tommy Boy invented that? I'm like, no, but the idea.
Yeah, my dad would do that when I was a kid. That's my point. So there's a difference between the origin and what popularized it. So Chappelle, did he create that? Did he make that? Or did he popularize it? I don't know. But traditions, hey, I'm not hating on the Spurs.
Okay.
It takes time to develop and time to build.
Now, let me ask you this. You said, Chappelle, did you watch the new special?
I did last night.
I thought it was good. He's a good storyteller, man. Chappelle, I think, has gone to, like, he's less punchline-y, And he's just more of like an amazing storyteller that tells funny stories. It's like the evolution. Like Sebastian Maniscalco, to me, is now like a super physical comic. Totally is in that lane now. And I think Dave
Sebastian's
Chappelle,
like a caricature of himself, highly animated. He really leans into the physical stuff, and it works. It's funny.
Chappelle seems like less of a comedian and more of like a generational like orator, where he just grabs the mic and you just want to hear what he has to say.
Social commentary. He's doing like a
younger
TED Talk,
a younger Black George Burns now. The way he's smoking on stage, telling stories about how he's buying his whole town.
Yeah, I'll be honest. It's like oddly distracting how he just doesn't stop smoking the whole special. All right, let's say hi to Jay in Delaware. One NFL question, then we'll give away a prize here on Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Jay?
Hey,
Jay.
fellas, happy holiday.
Back at you, man. Merry Christmas, buddy.
Merry Christmas. While I was on hold, you guys, just real quick, the Christmas movie traditions. With my kids, the two movies that we always watch are The Elf and The Muppets Christmas Carol.
The Muppets Christmas Carol, when they do Marley and Marley.
Yeah.
Ooh, my kids love that crap. I love that one. That's a good one, dude. That's definitely a good one. You know what I realized the other day? There's the biggest jerk. You know what? Let me save it. My ADD's blazing. Let's talk strength of schedule, Jay. What you got, man?
So the two teams in there that I trust the most out of those five, I'd say, are the Patriots. They've won. They're undefeated on the road, and they've finished their games. They lost to the Raiders, of course, in the beginning of the season, but that was the beginning of the season. But the Niners, since Brock's back, 5-0, and they're putting away teams. The last 5 games, they've won by 2 scores. They've scored on 23 straight quarters. Hunter hasn't punted since November. Those are the two teams that I trust the most in those bottom 5. Like, even though their strength of schedule, blah, blah, blah.
Hey, listen, bro,
away those teams.
As a Niners fan, I'm not going to argue that point, but we earlier talked about the 5 teams that have had the weakest strength of schedule this year are all playoff-bound teams. Niners, Chargers, Bears, Broncos, and the easiest schedule the Patriots had. And you got to ask yourself, does strength of schedule matter much? We decided that
he made a good point, and I did say that. I did say, it's also how you win. Yeah, you may be playing weaker teams, but how did you beat them? Did you clobber them? Yeah, that makes it different.
Yeah,
so
and you know what?
I think that's a great point,
You
man.
know what a lot of those teams have in common? And you could say this about a lot of playoff teams, but I look at those 5 teams with the weakest schedule, Danny G, as arguably having 5 of the best coaches in the NFL. Listen to those teams.
Yeah.
Kyle Shanahan, Jim Harbaugh, Ben Johnson, Sean Payton, and Mike Vrabel. Those are hella good coaches that have their teams headed to the playoffs. So
yeah, Covino said it in the first hour that they all have good fundamentals. And this is strength of schedule during this season, not prior to it. Yeah. So some of these teams look good on paper going into the year.
No doubt. All right, let's do this. Let's play a game, give away a prize. We'll come back. We'll talk more NFL. And I have more dumb theories about holiday movies and sports. So we'll get to all that. But we do it every week on Covino and Rich as we fill in for Dan Patrick. There's a guy around here at Fox Sports Radio. His name is Mike, Big Mike.
He looks like Stone Cold Steve Austin. He looks like Rick from Pawn Stars.
And when we first met him, he just came with a vibe that we thought he ran this place. And it's very clear everyone around here was quick to say, no, this guy does not run this place. But we call him Mike that runs this place, and he has words of wisdom. Take it away, Sam.
It's time for the guy that runs this place.
Just for clarification, guys, Big Mike does not run this place. He is not in charge of everything. He has no power over really anybody here. He does not run this place.
It's Big Mike's Words of Wisdom on a Wednesday.
And I think that's a sentiment, Danny G, in a lot of offices where there's someone that appears to have a power and you realize they really don't.
Yeah, I never told you guys this story before, but since Mike's not in the building, before we play his actual Words of Wisdom here, when I was running the Outkick the Coverage program on this network, Mike got into it a little bit with me one morning because he wanted something done faster, and he raised his voice, and I said, Mike, you're not my supervisor. And he's like, well, I'm going to email your supervisor then. Ooh. And I said,
he's just a visor.
Yeah. and you know what?
Nothing super?
Nothing super about him, really.
At the end of the shift, he came up to me and he's like, oh, I'm sorry for raising my voice. I'm like, yeah, Mike, you don't run anything here.
But I mean,
yeah, but you know what? We really love Mike.
He's awesome. Yeah.
We give him the credit that he deserves.
He's a big teddy bear. He's one of those kind of guys.
Let's hear his words of wisdom. And it's very simple, guys. repeat it word for word, and you win a prize. 877-99 on Fox, 877-99 on Fox. Listen to Mike's words of wisdom.
May your Christmas be bright, your turkey be moist, and your gifts be returnable. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Verbatim, Dan Patrick Nation. Verbatim. That's how the game works.
That was simple. I like it.
Do they need to say the Merry Christmas part?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even if you don't celebrate, it's part of it.
Yeah, everything in verbatim.
It's verbatim.
You want to play
That's
it
how you win.
one last time?
Yeah, give it one more time.
May your Christmas be bright, your turkey be moist, and your gifts be returnable. Merry Christmas, everybody.
It's a pretty good one.
Yeah, thank you, Mike. Repeat it at 877-99 on Fox. Win a Covino and Rich Fox Sports Radio Nerf Turbo Football. We'll do that. We got Midweek Major, all the stories in sports and pop culture, and, of course, a lot of NFL as we get to Week 17. Some games of importance, some meaningless games, but those meaningless games will also dictate draft order, so there's nothing really meaningless about it, I guess, right? So we'll get to all that. Covino and Rich in for the great Dan Patrick and the Danettes right here on Fox Sports Radio.
Let's start with Cam Scattaboo, or as I called him, Scam Cataboo.
Ooh, Scattaboo.
He's getting a lot of negative press this week.
Yeah.
What's
all
he
bullshit.
doing?
It's all bullshit because he goes to Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
And since we talked about it, just a little update. Coach said it was an organized trip for the rookies on the team. It's bonding. They do things like this. It's just everyone, because he's hurt, has a fucking problem with him shoving wrestlers.
Bad optics, though.
The Judgment Day.
Think of how Giants fans feel knowing how much promise he had this season. Breaks an ankle. It's like, yo, man, what's he doing on that ankle right there? We know it's fake and all, but anything could happen.
Yeah, but like I said the other day.
What do you mean? I'm sorry, Spot. Wrestling it's real, buddy. It's real.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
I mean, it is sports entertainment, but
it's a bit of a tussle. It could be rough. Gotta be gentle. Take it easy. As they say in New York, take it easy.
I have a question.
Take it easy. Come on, Cam, take it easy. He's celebrating his 10,000th follower. So he has 10,000 followers on Twitch. So what he does is he takes an energy drink in celebration, he puts it in a cleat, and he does the infamous shoey. There you go. I don't get down like this. This is where the party stops for me. I'm not that kind of guy. I'm not the less bash heads and less, punch a wall kind of guy.
I mean, it's his own shoe.
Yeah, but that's gross.
I hope it's a clean shoe.
I mean, but regardless, it's his shoe. If
But
it
dude,
was,
when
I wouldn't drink out of your shoe.
When people do shoeys, they're not always clean shoes. Look at them. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, let's go shoeys. So I call this, you can call it whatever you want. But me personally, Steve Covino, I call this the weakest party moves.
Oh, this is your no-no list?
Yeah, this is Steve Covino's no-no list. I don't get down like that.
All right, so if you're a guy like Covino,
if someone's like, yo, dude, let's do a shoey, I'm like, how about no?
I've heard Covino actually say at parties, even when he was younger, even before he knew him, for some reason, Covino's like, I don't scattaboo.
I don't scattaboo. Hey, you know what? You scattaboo. I'm going to go talk to some chicks. That was my mindset back
here
then.
we go.
No,
all right, so what are the things that
this
even
isn't like a turnoff, dude?
Even when you were in college and you were living with your buddies at the frat house or whatever the hell you were doing, what are the things you would never do?
You could call these fun time party antics from back in the day. I call these weak ass moves. These moves come with a lifetime guarantee. No ass for a lifetime. Guaranteed.
For people that aren't a stick in the mud like you, maybe things that we've graduated past.
Fine. Whatever you want to call it.
Okay, let's go.
I'm kicking it off with keg stands. Have I done one in my life? One and done. No bueno.
I don't think I've ever
Lame. Vatos don't keg stand. That's a rare photo right there.
That's what I said.
So keg standing.
No, this is a photo of you from college.
Get out of here.
I graduated. What else does not fly with Steve Covino?
Body shots.
Off of dudes?
Anybody. Like really,
if
she's a smoke show and I'm just a horned up dude, yeah, fine. But it's not always like a hot chick that you're getting a body shot from.
Here's the problemo. I'll tell you, I've done body shots off of some good-looking ladies back in the day.
You want to drink a shot out of someone's lint-filled belly button?
No, but here's the problem.
This isn't your style?
But here's the problem.
I don't even know what's going on.
I've done body shots off of women at bars in my 20s, but here's the problem.
Meanwhile,
much
50 other guys have done shots off the same woman.
I mean, if you want to take the words out of my mouth, go ahead. Do the show by yourself then.
Well, don't you have that strip club theory?
My strip club theory is every time you put your face in some girl's big boobs, you're rubbing another dude's face essentially because some other guy's face was right there. So same theory with the body shot.
Barf.
Hot in theory, but the reality is you're like licking her belly where some other dude probably licked her belly.
Let me ask you this. I get it. We all do dumb things when we're young, right? And you could chalk it up to, hey, man, I was in my 20s, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But you got to graduate from these things. Beer funnels / helmets.
Okay, I'm with you. I never felt the instinct, and I'm not saying I'm above it. We've all had our fair share of drunk fun times as young men, but I've never felt the urge to like funnel anything.
Never needed it that bad.
I could pace myself and still get buzzed, you know?
And, the beer helmet, nothing says you're a loser sports fan or just a loser, period, than a beer helmet. Here's one I've done once. I remember clear as day, and I'm like, this is the most overrated experience ever.
What?
The ice luge.
Oh, that's fucking awesome.
Sticky in your face. Again, it's all sticky. You're doing some weak, sticky shot, and your face is there, and it's all dripping down your face, and you're putting your face where some other dude's
but
face
the ice
was.
melts, so it's no longer germy. Listen, I'm not.
What's the science behind that?
I'm not doing it as a 40-year-old man, but let me tell you, when I was a young man in college, I remember going to a frat party once and was introduced, spring break as well, the ice luge, a nice chilled shot.
You know what? I mean, can't you just do a shot? You need that nonsense?
You loser.
Yeah, what a bunch of losers.
Well, you know what? You know what? Covino just hates it because he did an ice luge off of.
Welcome back to the Showgram program. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas Eve, live from the Fox Sports Radio studio. Remember, after the show, the DP podcast and on our stream goes up. If you miss any of today's show, be sure to listen to the podcast. Search Covino and Rich. That's us. Covino and Rich in for Dan Patrick. Wherever you get your podcasts, and be sure to follow, rate, and review. 5 stars only, because anything less is uncivilized. So thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
We appreciate it. And listen, we do not take for granted that we get to fill in for one of the legends in sports radio, Dan Patrick and the Danettes. So Covino and Rich, honored to fill in for Dan. In fact, if you want to do us a little holiday treat, give me a little holiday jingle bells there, Covino, with your necklace you've been wearing all week.
I came festive, man. I came festive.
Yo, youtube.com/@Covino and Rich FSR. It's free. Every day we're on. Just subscribe to the YouTube page, and you can see what you hear. That would be your little holiday gift to us. And it's free, so why not give it a shot? And a little fun fact before I get a winner. Remember Buzz's girlfriend from Home Alone?
Buzz, your girlfriend. Woof.
Covino used to sleep with her.
Yeah, true story. Yeah. But I wish you didn't say that on Fox Sports Radio, Rich.
Yeah.
Now, coming up next hour, I just want to keep you posted. Midweek Major, the biggest stories in sports and pop culture. We decide, are these stories midweek or major? Spots on standby, waiting to give us the stories. He's on the videos right now, Covino and Rich FSR. But let's get a winner for Mike's Wednesday Words of Wisdom.
All right, let's go.
All you have to do is repeat verbatim, spread the wisdom, and win a prize.
All right.
The first victim, Mark in Washington State.
Hello, Mark.
All right, Marky Mark.
Hey, Mark.
Hey.
What's up, buddy?
Not much. Love the show.
Love you, man. Hey, Merry Christmas, and you got a chance to win here. So just repeat Mike's Words of Wisdom verbatim, and you got that nerf for football. Let's go.
May your Christmas be bright, your turkey be moist, and your gifts be returnable. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yeah. Boom, right off the bat.
One and done. One and done.
We make it easy for a reason because we're not trying to stump you. We want to give away prizes, and we appreciate you being part of the Covino and Rich family. So thank you, bro.
And we want to spread all that wisdom Mike spits out on the daily.
Know. So
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, man. Happy holidays. Enjoy the football.
Merry Christmas.
I hope you enjoy the show.
Hey,
Merry Christmas to you, man.
You too, man. I got one random question before we get into some NFL. We're going to get to midweek major. Danny G, obviously,
yeah.
If you got kids, Santa comes tonight brings goodies and gifts for the kids and stockings. But the presents that come from mom and dad and relatives. I asked Covino this yesterday. My wife and I have different traditions. Not of course Santa, who comes tonight, little kiddos. Do you put presents under the tree as you get them and wrap them? Or is it like Christmas morning, parents and Santa gifts are all there at once?
Well, we have a toddler. My first, I have stepkids, but this is my first kid. He's 2. We can't have anything under that tree because as it is, he already pulls all the ornaments down off that tree. Can you imagine?
Yeah, Danny's tree has ornaments all on the high part of the tree. The bottom is empty.
Dude, he throws wiffle balls into the tree. He's got all his toys thrown into the tree. If there were anything, he calls them a prize or a surprise.
Yeah.
He's like, surprise, a surprise. If there was any wrapped gift under there, he would have it torn open in a minute.
No, it's just, because you realize when you get married.
Well, it takes away from the reveal, Rich. I'm sorry to state the obvious here, but the only presents that were really under the tree were like mom brought some presents home from the office because someone gave her something, or maybe like the obvious gifts like, hey, I bought something from the holiday boutique for dad. So it's under the tree, the obvious ones that,
the stuff
that are
like
just there.
Like if you bought your mom or dad something at like the Christmas fair at school.
Exactly. So like there were presents there. Or maybe your aunt came over and she left something for you. But
I know.
It takes away from the reveal of Santa's gifts on Christmas morning if they're all out there already.
I know that Danny makes a point. If you got little kids, they'll rip things apart. But
pets will too.
Everyone's got different traditions, and that's sort of the fun of dating someone new. Or when you get married, you and your wife, you combine your traditions. But I was always a Christmas morning, bam, like everything's there, and you're like,
oh my God, he came!
Santa came out, and it's the presents from mom and dad. My wife is Santa comes on Christmas Eve, as you know, kids. But my wife has the other presents like already under the tree, and we're trying that this year, and it just feels weird. I'm like, they're there. Like, then don't you feel like kids could shake a box and feel the presents? And I don't know. It just shows that everyone's got.
I like that. I like the idea of some gifts being under the tree, and then like it balloons outward, and then when Santa visits, then it's like it's a smorgasbord of presents.
Yeah. Well, hopefully everyone has a great Merry Christmas. Honestly, a special time of the year, especially if you got little kiddos. Take it in because everyone will tell you these times are so fleeting, right? You have a little pocket of time where that Christmas magic is there, right? Not trying to get all sentimental, Covino. You don't have to start tearing up.
Greeting cards have all been sent.
Man, you haven't cried like this since the Niners lost in the Super Bowl.
I haven't cried.
Welling up like Puss in Boots.
I haven't cried like this since the Mets lost out to the Reds in the final wild card.
Merry Christmas, darling.
I want to ask you about what happened last night in Idaho because you told us yesterday on our afternoon show.
Yeah.
That your girlfriend, who's younger, you're not a
creepo.
Yeah, no creepo. But your girlfriend's a good 10 plus years younger than you. She's like 30ish, and her sister's, I believe, even younger. So you're dealing with a bunch of people that are around 30.
Yeah. The long short of it is, we were talking about Christmas movies, and they're like, we need to watch one. I was like, you guys ever see It's a Wonderful Life? And they're like, no. I'm like, no, none of them had seen it. I was like, it's like the Wizard of Oz of Christmas movies. And then they're like, oh, we should watch it because Steve wants us to watch it. I'm like, no, hold up. I don't want to be responsible for you sitting here and you thinking it's a slow-moving movie. It doesn't stand the test of time, and now I'm the guy that vouched for it. I didn't want all that pressure on me. And let's just say maybe not all things stand the test of time.
Ooh.
Right? And does that translate as far as classic sports moments as well?
Yeah, because there's a theory Danny G and I have, and it's also based on the new Elway documentary that's on Netflix. So
I'll tell you what happened.
Sports, movies, standing the test of time, plus midweek major and a bunch more. Covino and Rich, Merry Christmas. Filling in for Dan Patrick here on Fox Sports Radio.
Oh.
It's Covino and Rich on Fox Sports Radio. Are you ready?
Yes! We talk about pop culture, we talk about sports, we talk about life.
It's a friendship on the radio. When you talk about the best athlete in the world, you're probably thinking Jim Thorpe, right?
I'm thinking
joking.
Bo Jackson.
I'd have to throw myself at the age of 12 into the conversation.
You are the home run champion. When you find the commonality between sports and life, those analogies and conversations are the best. You were dating some girl, and you were like, hey, babe, let's watch The Sixth Sense. Her mom walked in. Can you believe he was dead the whole time?
I wanted to get up.
Well, slow down, Dana White.
I don't want to say It's never boring.
If the Chiefs win.
Sorry, Patrick Mahomes here. What do you mean by if the Chiefs win? Our friendship is real. It's authentic. You can't fake the fun.
We're the type of guys you'd want to hang out with at a sports bar. Best way to pick someone up at a bar?
Yeah.
Go up to a cute girl and say, oh, look at that bozo over there. And I'll point to you. We could make fun of each other, poke each other a little bit.
I call him Blubber Lips, Rich Davis, because he never stops talking.
He thinks he's the Mexican Fonz.
Yeah.
At any point, he's wearing a chain. You have a chain on?
Always.
Of course he has a chain on.
That's like asking me if I'm wearing cologne right now. Of course I am. We take a lot of pride in being inclusive and interactive on our show. Just the more the merrier.
Josh, Covino thinks that every man should own a leather jacket.
I only wear vegan leather.
Can you believe this guy?
I can't believe this guy. We have a very special connection with our audience, our listeners. People feel that friendship.
And I appreciate your show. I love it.
It's all for you. Thank you.
Mike Tyson, Covino, loves to just challenge us with random Mike Tyson trivia.
Which accomplished celebrity purchased my sprawling Connecticut estate?
I'm going to go 50 Cent.
You are absolutely correct, 50 Cent. I love his song.
You can't schedule a big event during a big sports moment.
My family member scheduled their wedding the same night as a Julio Cesar Chavez fight. Everyone was glued to that fight instead of doing the electric slide.
This is weak.
Unbelievable. You're very tricky.
America, you got sports, you got fun, you got us.
Covino and Rich.
We're crushing it.
In the Western Conference last night after beating the first-place Thunder, San Antonio was led by Keldon Johnson. He scored 25 off the bench in what he said was an unselfish performance.
We all understand the team aspect of it, that if somebody has it going, we got to give them the ball.
The Spurs are now just 3 games behind the Thunder, who lost for the second time in 3 games. Nuggets forward Cameron Johnson is awaiting MRI results on his right knee after he went down during Denver's loss to the Mavericks yesterday. To football, and the 49ers are taking another blow in the injury department. Tight end George Kittle is dealing with an ankle sprain. He suffered that Monday night. The NFL, they've upheld the 2-game suspensions for Steelers wideout DK Metcalf and Chargers linebacker Denzel Perriman. All-star first baseman Ryan O'Hearn, he signed a 2-year, $29 million deal with the Pirates. O'Hearn hit .281 with 17 homers last season for the O's and Padres. And Philly star Bryce Harper committed to join Team USA for next year's World Baseball Classic. That happened yesterday. And that's sports. I'm Scott Davidson.
Show.
We are the most unathletically decorated show in radio history, I think.
America's most revered sports talk show.
Respect the position that you have.
But today, Dan Patrick and the four Danettes are not here. So sitting in for Dan Patrick and hosting the Dan Patrick Show, here's Steve Covino and Rich Davis.
Ho, ho, ho.
You'll shoot your eye out, kid. Hey, don't shoot your eye out. Enjoy your holidays. Bah humbug to all, and Merry Christmas Eve. It's Steve Covino, just a kid from Union, New Jersey, out here in Idaho.
Marley
Live from
Marley.
Idaho. That's Rich Davis. He put the square in Franklin Square, Long Island. They're live at the Fox Sports Radio studio, live from the monsoon on a soggy holiday. Ooh, soggy.
Well, be careful out there. If you're listening on 570 AM, the LA big affiliate out here. Let me tell you, the governor put out like a warning. I'm looking on the news right now, mudslide possibility. So be safe out there, like of all days, right? Who wants a soggy, gross Christmas Eve and Christmas?
I'm dreaming of a soggy-ass, gross monsoon of a Christmas.
I think it's kind of comfy. You have an excuse to stay inside and watch movies.
You know what? I agree, Sam, until I was a homeowner. I think anyone that's a homeowner, anytime there's like bad weather conditions, you're like, I don't want to see a leak or something. There's always something that goes wrong. And Covino will tell you, there's always something.
Yeah, my sister's place already leaking on the west side because of all the rain. And
I'm sorry.
Speaking of movies, we got to talk some movies in just a moment. But I do want to thank everyone for hanging out with us. Rich, you mentioned the affiliates. I want to shout out all the affiliates. Thank you for hanging out with us. Please check out our regular show, 5 to 7 on the East, Monday through Friday, 2 to 4 on the West. We even have a bonus podcast called Overpromised, which I love doing. We have guests. Give us 22 minutes. We'll give you the world or something like that.
Yeah.
It's a quick, awesome show, Overpromised. It's on our YouTube page, Covino and Rich FSR on YouTube. The live chat's popping. Lisa's there, Michelle, Talika, Mark James. A lot of people hitting us up live. We appreciate that. Again, Covino and Rich FSR. And let's get into it. We got Midweek Major this hour. The biggest stories in sports and pop culture. We decide with Spot if they're midweek or major. And right now, again, I'm in Idaho with my future in-laws, Rich.
What does that mean?
Whoa.
I mean, what is that? That's a big giveaway? I don't know. What are you supposed to say? My girlfriend's family. There you go.
Well, future in-laws would insinuate you're getting engaged.
I mean, I don't put a lot of emphasis on that. It's just a saying.
Really?
Right?
I mean, Spot, when you say future in-laws, am I not?
Well, it's not really an expression.
That's an expression where I come from.
Is that a ring? Is that a ring box? Ring box in your pocket or a potato?
Yeah, what's that under the tree?
All right, so anyway, stop spreading rumors.
Don't do it on Christmas, though, because then you can't take it back because it's considered
exactly.
a gift.
Now,
future in-laws, huh?
Huh?
Oh, my God, you're so corny, dude.
Huh?
You're like the Spurs tradition.
You're the guy
what do you say? That's my girlfriend's family. What do you say? You just say it's a saying.
You said future in-laws completely insinuate you're getting married.
Just call them the in-laws. Then it's like, it's fine.
Corny. If I said in-laws, does that mean anything? This is my girlfriend's family, right? I'm here with them.
Fox Sports Boise 99.9 is going wild right now.
Yo, man.
There's going to be a local Boise reporter outside your house getting the
throwing
scoop.
Your radio host and your potato queen are getting married.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so her family.
Radio tycoon and local potato girl.
Miss Potato 2012. So I realized that none of her family, well, not her entire family, but her sister, her brother-in-law, a lot of the younger people had never seen It's a Wonderful Life. And I felt like the old guy. Like, they made it seem like it was my favorite movie, and it's one of, for
it's
sure.
A Wonderful
I think
Life,
it is.
which is what you promised to give your girlfriend in the future.
You guys are corny, dude. So, I'm like, hey, hold on. I'm not from 1946. That's when the movie came out. It's a classic. I'm surprised you guys have never seen it. And they made it out like, oh, he wants us to watch it. We should watch it for Steve. And I'm like, no, whoa, hold up. Don't watch it for me, because then I'm going to be insulted that, you're looking at your phone and you're taking bathroom breaks and you're chatting over the movie. Like, you watch it if you want to watch it. And I will say this. We have not yet to watch it. We have not watched it. In fact, we watched the Dave Chappelle special last night. But now I got all this pressure because they are saying, yeah, we're going to watch It's a Wonderful Life with Steve. I'm like, yo, stop with that for me. Like, I don't want you to do anything for me. You should have seen it a long time ago.
So you're going to go from edgy stand-up special to 1946 black and white Christmas movie?
Well, yeah, because it's a slower moving movie, and we put that on last night. There's late at night.
Cigarette smoking in both.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the only
true.
commonality. But you know what? Covino brings up a good point. Movies, music, sports moments, there are things that in your mind, oh, dude, this is a freaking classic. How could someone not appreciate it? But when you show it to your kids or a younger girlfriend or soon-to-be fiance or anyone younger in your life, it might not translate. And I noticed this for the first time years ago when my nieces and nephew were younger. I was like, you guys want to watch a scary movie? And they're like, yeah, Uncle Rich. And I was like, you know what we're going to watch? Gremlins. I sat down my nieces and nephew, who are now like grown teenagers. They're in college. But I remember when they were little, I thought I was going to open their eyes to like a legendary classic movie. I was like, dude, who doesn't
they'd want a Mogwai for Christmas.
Yo, they were like, Uncle Rich, you suck. This is the cheesiest movie ever.
Didn't
Uncle
they boo
Rich
you?
stinks. They booed me.
Boo!
Uncle Rich, you suck.
You're the worst. This movie stinks.
And I
just wasted our whole night.
As I watched it, I was like, oh my God, this is bad. It's like
it's dated. Yeah,
once in a while,
it's dated. It's slow. The special effects are terrible.
You go back once in a while, and
it looks like something from the early '80s, like blurry. It came in blurry.
You watch something from your childhood that
you know how movies come in high def, Rich?
Yeah,
in
now
4K. It came in blurry. 80s blurry.
Watch something from back then, and you have such fond memories of something that was complete trash. Like, I remember going back and watching reruns of shows that I loved as a kid. I'll name two of them that are garbage, that as a little boy, Rich Davis, me, loved.
Yeah, but truthfully, the shows you're about to mention were garbage then. You're just a little kid, though, so your
of course
expectations were low.
Yeah, but I mean, these were successful shows that ran.
It's classics that stand the test of time. Perfect Strangers is not a classic.
Yeah,
it's a goofy show from the 80s.
I thought Balky and Larry making Bibi Bopkas was hilarious. It was not.
Yeah, because you're a nose-picking 8-year-old. What do you know?
Willie! I thought Alf was amazing. I went back and I watched an episode of Alf once, and I'm like, this is nonsense.
Most of us thought that was cheesy when it was on.
Yeah, you and Covino
yeah,
were
that's
cool
what I'm
guys.
It was cheesy then. That's the difference. But cheesy then means even cheesier now.
I'll give you
Classics
this, though.
then should stand the test of time, but not all do. And that's how I feel about, like, dude, Back to the Future came out in 1985. It's still great today.
Yeah.
Because classics stand the test of time. It's a Wonderful Life came out in 1946, and it's in black and white. And I think younger eyes see anything like that, and they're immediately tuned out because it's not crystal clear clarity. It's just, it looks old, it looks slow, and it doesn't register to their weenial social media eyes. You know, it just looks, they won't even give it a chance is really what my point is.
My kids
even if
liked,
it's still holding up.
My kids liked Goonies, and I thought that was cool. They were like, yeah, this is cool because it's an adventure, kids, fun type
fun movie. Yeah, I'm not surprised by that.
But I'm going to upset a lot of people when I say this.
Kids want fast moving, fast acting.
Let me upset a lot of people. The nerds out there. When I was younger, I was certainly not the coolest kid, but my family was not a Star Wars family.
Still aren't.
We're just not a Star Wars family. My wife likes Star Wars, but growing up, my brother and sister and my family, we weren't into it. So when I was older, I investigated Star Wars because everyone I knew was like, yeah, Star Wars is the best. If you watched the original 1970-something Star Wars now for the first time, I promise you'd be terribly disappointed.
No, that's blasphemy.
Yeah, man, I don't know. Classics stand the test of time. That's my theory.
They were so ahead of their time with those movies, Rich, that's one of the reasons why the acting, the storyline, the special effects.
Danny, it's not good.
You know, are you kidding me?
Danny, it's not.
I think you also have to explain to whoever's watching, like, you have to realize, guys, yeah, this might look a little dated, but these were the innovators, the pioneers, the first. Imagine seeing something like this for the first time.
Danny, when we were kids, the coolest special effect when we were kids was Large Marge's face. Like, we've come a long way. I'm not saying Star Wars is bad. What I'm saying is Watching it
you
through,
kind of did say it was bad.
You know what? I guess you're right. I do. I think it stinks. Watching it now, you can't get through the first one. It stinks. It does.
It doesn't stink. It's just you're bored by it.
Slower.
You're bored by it.
There was more storylines going on in older films, and so to Covino's point, I think it was Coco Melon where I read that they changed the shot like 8 times in a few seconds because the kids nowadays, they need the screen to constantly change.
You're right.
Stimulation,
You're right, Danny G. There's the show Coco Melon. If you got little kids, Coco Melon's like a very popular kid show. They change frames, I believe, every 3 seconds. Something absurd where
it's insane.
Because a kid's attention's like boom, bam, bop, beep, bop, boop.
You know when I started noticing this? I remember showing my daughter Mary Poppins, and
you think a kid's gonna chim-chimaroo?
Yeah, like it just felt slow. It felt so slow and old. And it was that song that the Mad Hatter guy's singing when he's floating around. By the time that song came on, my kid was sleeping. And, they start off those older movies with the credits. So the kid's bored before the movie even starts.
Dude, my kids love Wicked. We went to go see Wicked. Obviously, as a good dad, I'm like, let's watch Wizard of Oz. They loved Wizard of Oz, but I had to fast forward the first minute and a half because it's opening credits of who's in the movie. There's like 2 minutes of
this is boring.
Opening credits. Like,
is it over?
What
are the words? I see. Why words?
When does it start? I'm like, oh, jeez.
You know what they need
Does
to
it start backwards?
doing? Like, you know how with podcasts you can listen at like 1.5 or 2 times speed. They need to do that with old movies. You need to be able to, like, there needs to be a way.
Hey, you want the moon, Mary? You want the moon?
Right.
The George Bailey, the luckiest man in town.
Right. And then it just, everything moves at 2 times the speed, and you can listen to it, and then it's like, it's over in half the time.
No, they need to, you're right, Spot. Like a podcast or like I know a lot of baseball networks like SNY and Yes for the Yankees, Covino, and I'm sure Spectrum for the Dodgers. Messin, they do the, like a 2.5, 3 hour game. They do some type of like cut out. They cut out the fat, and it's like a half-hour game.
Yeah, the condensed version is great. Yeah. So based on this, what do you think about It's a Wonderful Life? Is it a fail? Am I setting myself up for failure? Are they going to be bored seeing through younger eyes? Does it not stand the test of time?
It's a beautiful movie.
I really look at it like a timeless story of life lessons and what the holiday really means. And I think classics never die. I think it's the Wizard of Oz of Christmas movies. I really do. But then again, I don't want that pressure and vouching for it, and I don't want them to be bored and it's all my fault, and I don't want to be booed the way your nieces and nephews booed you, Rich, when you showed them Gremlins. But think about this. If certain movies, and even to us, certain movies, right, that maybe your mom watched are boring to us, like, man, I don't know. Do those sports highlights that we cherish, that we saw, that we watched, that we grew up thinking were the coolest, do those games, do those moments also not translate because they look so old? You could see a highlight from the 90s and it looks old and blurry. And a kid today might just think, yeah, that's weak. Or even the moves. Like, I referenced this to you the other day, Rich. Like, when we saw Magic Johnson making those moves, the first time you saw him making those moves, the first time you saw someone play that way. So you're blown away by it.
Magic Johnson,
but guess what? A kid today sees that on and one videos and one-on-one competitions and kids on social media every minute of the day. It doesn't hit the same way, and it looks old.
A Magic
Johnson,
like,
yeah, it's kind of lame, Dad.
No look pass in the 80s was something we had never seen before. Magic's on a breakaway, and this is the ball off, like not looking at all. It was like, oh my God, oh no. We were like, a no-look pass?
Right.
You want to talk about that Elway documentary? So
I'm going to watch it tonight.
It was released on Netflix Monday, and when they got to the part where Elway did the helicopter, I think that was Super Bowl 32. In my mind, as a little kid watching that, he helicoptered way high off the ground into the end zone.
Same, Danny.
That's
same thing.
That's the Lord. Like, that's what I think of. But it was just to get a first down. It was right inside the 5-yard line. It wasn't for a touchdown. And also, he got like ankle high almost off the ground.
For real. My memory of it was different than the reality. You're right, because we're kids. Our perspective's off. Steve Mann, 199, says nostalgia is a drug. And, yeah, when kids see it from their younger perspective, it doesn't hit
And
the same way.
Not to take anything away from Elway, because he was such a gamer in that Super Bowl, wanted it so bad. And it was awesome how he took the ball and ran. He was an older guy. He was battling injuries. But in my mind as a kid, that was one of the most awesome quarterback runs ever. And now watching that documentary, I was like, yeah, it was cool. But we've seen bigger, faster, stronger quarterbacks running the football now.
That's weird. I just Googled John Elway doing the helicopter, and I got something else.
That was Brett Favre.
There's footage of that? Yeah, I think that was Favre, bro.
Oh, sorry.
Favre couldn't helicopter, though. It was weird.
You know how like a mad dog will like bring up Bob Cousy all the time?
Bob Cousy!
And then you'll look at the highlights and think, Bob Cousy was playing a bunch of goofy white guys. He had no competition, and you're not really impressed with it. That's how your kids look at a Mike Tyson highlight, and they're like, yeah, but Dad, look who he's fighting. First of all, it looks old. They're like,
by the way,
he's fighting some bum.
By the way,
you know?
If you looked at a Bob Cousy clip when you were a kid, it would be the equivalent of looking at something from like the 2000s.
Yeah,
now,
I'm telling you,
that's the age or difference.
These movies, these highlights, these sports moments. Forget about an entire game. Think of like the greatest game, the flu game. Think about the greatest game. You mentioned Brett Favre. Brett Favre's game when his dad died and he threw for 1,000,000 yards. Think of a legendary game. A kid today would never even want to sit through it because it looks old. As simple as that. It could be the greatest game. They don't care because it doesn't work with them. It's not enough stimulation.
Yeah.
That's the shame of it.
My kids watch it, but you remember I told the story a while back how I showed my kids the Mets, 86, Game 6, gets by Buckner, and my kid's like, Dad, is like, it's all blurry. Like, is something wrong? It's all blurry. I'm like, no, but
hey, Rich, you remember when you were a kid, you thought life was in black and white because all your grandpappy's pictures and movies were in black and white?
My grandparents would tell me a story. I would picture it in black and white. Yeah. I thought
your
my
kids
grandparents
probably
lived.
your kids probably think we grew up in the blurry era.
Dad, when you were a kid, was everything just blurry?
You ask a college kid now, you ever see where they ask a college athletes, like, what makes someone old? And they're like, yeah, when they were born in the 1900s. Jesus.
So basically the question is, if classics like It's a Wonderful Life might not stand the test of time, I'm not sure if it does. I haven't really put it to the test yet, and I don't think it will. I really don't. That's why I'm hesitant. Do these moments that we cherished growing up in the world of sports, like Danny G said, the John Elway helicopter, like we have this vision of this legendary moment in our brain. Kids today would ho-hum at this moment, and you feel insulted as a result. It's just how it is.
Cove, when you think of sports movies, to combine them both, movies and sports, and by the way, I'm curious what people think. At Covino Rich, at Fox Sports Radio, and of course, 877-99 on Fox. I am curious if people think, first of all, will It's a Wonderful Life translate to anyone that's never seen it now? That's question number one. Number two, sports movies, which are so near and dear to us as sports fans and movie fans. I heard our pal Colin Cowherd recently talking about how stars. The best
stars attract stars.
The best sports movie ever. And he was very adamant in saying
Stars.
Brian's Song, which I thought was an emotional, tear-jerking, great movie. But would anyone younger now have the patience to sit through Brian's Song?
Nope. North Dallas 40, Caddyshack. These kids, no young person would ever sit through that, no matter how great it is. We're not saying it's not great. We're just giving you the truth. So all these things that are near and dear, they're not fast-moving enough.
Yeah.
These kids have pea brains.
Bro.
Social media has rotted everybody's attention span, including ours, especially kids. And I made this point recently, Rich, and I'll make it again. The difference between us, if you're 40-something, around that age, you're fluent and old guy in the analog lifestyle, but you're also fluent in fast-moving social media culture of today. If you grow up younger than that, your only reference is fast-moving social media culture. You do not have the attention span. You're not fluent in old-timey time analog slow-moving movies. You have no patience for it. You think it sucks. There's nothing that anyone could say that could convince you that at one time this was cool, because in their mind, it's not. They don't have that reference point. That's what makes Gen X, and you're after that, right? What are you, Rich? Alfalfa generation? What is it? Gen Alpha?
I'm a Gen Xer, right?
Are you Gen X?
I think I'm
you're
just
not
makes it
millennial.
unique.
I'm borderline millennial. If you're born in like around 1980, early 80s, like,
we can appreciate both. That's what makes us unique. That's what makes us valuable. Honestly, we're fluent in two different mindsets. It's like being fluent in like Android and iOS. You know, your mind works in both ways. A younger person only wants fast-moving content, or they're falling asleep, or they're looking at their phone, or they're not interested.
Do you think some younger person who is spending their free time playing stupid games like, all right, dog, cat, like people that are doing stupid TikTok, Instagram games, you think they're going to sit down for 2 hours and watch a black and white Christmas movie?
No, that's the shame of it. So if that is true, that's what I'm saying. If that is true, and we all agree it probably is, the same applies to these sports highlights and the games that we hold near and dear to our hearts. They do not care.
All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take your feedback, thoughts on old school sports clips, sports highlights, old school movies. Do they translate?
By the way, you know how goofy stirrups must look to a young kid? George Brett in his 1980s stirrups.
What are those, Dad?
Well, you used to put these things over your sock.
Yeah, they're called stirrups.
What are you, from the 1800s, Dad?
Yeah, but why?
Yeah, we all wore stirrups.
Yeah, but Dad, why
well,
didn't
for
they?
What? To hold up your stockings.
But Dad, why don't they just wear baseball socks?
Right.
Hey, Dad, how come the kickers only had one bar in their helmet?
Are you from the 1800s?
So,
you know what I mean? You're trying to tell them that it's cool, and they're like, it's not.
Yeah, man, the evolution of what keeps our
We
interest.
appreciated it because we lived both lives. We're a different generation. Younger generation has no exposure to anything but fast-moving, fast-acting, social media expectations.
The wild thing is the attention span is not there. So
it's disintegrated. It's gone.
Your thoughts, It's a Wonderful Life, sports highlights, and you know what's interesting too? What was impressive then versus now also changed. My quick example would be you're seeing guys. What did Cam Little kick the other day in practice?
73 yard.
A 73-yard field goal that they said would have been good from 75, and he just missed a 75-yarder. And the other, Eddie Pinheiro in the Niners on Monday Night Football, just for the heck of it, tried like a 65-yarder at the half, and it doinked off the thing. It was like, oh, man. If you tell kids, yeah, the Buffalo Bills, they've lost 4 Super Bowls in a row, one because of a missed field goal, and they're thinking, oh, what did the kicker miss, like a 60, 70, 50-yard field goal? No, it was a 39-yard field goal.
Oh, Scotty Norwood.
It's like, but we didn't think it was a chip shot then.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. They're seeing through different eyes. It's as simple as that.
Your thoughts and Midweek Major. A lot of fun here, filling in for the great Dan Patrick. Covino and Rich, right here on Fox Sports Radio.
Now, let's talk about our friends at Panini America.
Panini!
The official trading card and NFT partner of the Dan Patrick Show. Panini brings the premier collecting experience with the most coveted cards across the NFL, WNBA, college, NASCAR, and more. With the NFL playoff picture getting wild, you can hunt for top rookies and breakout stars like Ted McMillan, along with the game's biggest names and legends on the award-winning Panini Direct app.
Looking for a gift anytime? The Panini Direct app is the best place to grab gifts for collectors of any age. Like I told you, my kids are way into this. They're 5 and 8, starting their collection. They showcase top college names like Julian Sayin, Arch Manning, and headliners like WNBA pick Paige Beckers last year and MVP Asia Wilson. If you're into digital collectibles, you can check out Panini's NFT platform at nft.paniniamerica.net, where record-breaking sales continue every month and new auctions close daily.
Lock in live moments with Panini Instant Cards made within minutes of iconic plays. Visit PaniniAmerica.net or download the Panini Direct app. Panini America, the official trading card and NFT partner of The Dan Patrick Show.
If you don't care about the Mets or Yankees, good, because part 2 of this it could do with football, baseball, basketball, anything. It's more of just a 2025 general sentiment.
Let's explain to what makes sports beautiful, makes sports great. All different walks of life come to one place with one purpose, and that purpose is to win, right? Different ideology, different people, different cultures from all different walks of life, different lands.
And this
international game now.
And this is on full display if and when you do watch like the World Baseball Classic, or you're starting to see in the NBA when they do the international players versus the American-born players.
Yeah.
It's beautiful when you see, hey, my team's got Japanese players, black players, white players, Latino players. It's
all differences.
It really is.
All differences aside, and it doesn't matter what name's on the back because they're all playing for the name that's on the front, right? All differences aside, when you're in between those lines, you got one goal, one common goal together, and that's to win. So nothing else matters once the buzzer hits, once the game starts.
You could have went with tip-off, first pitch, or kickoff.
There
You
you
went
go.
with buzzer hits.
Yeah, I went with the, You saw me.
I saw you.
You saw me scrambling,
I saw
right?
you. How does a game start?
Tip-off. Oh! Once the game starts, all those things are out the window. Differences don't matter. Your one common goal is to win. And would you believe it that word on the streets is, as of today, that your boy Brandon Nimmo and Lindor never saw eye to eye, and they got rid of Nimmo because of political differences. I'm not saying this hasn't existed before. I'm sure it has. But I've never really heard it like this before in sports. It infiltrated relationships where it never has before, and now it's infiltrating sports in a way that it really hasn't before. They couldn't put that aside. I'm assuming, and it's a pretty good assumption, it's what I read, and Nimmo was a Trump guy, Lindor was not. They couldn't put their political differences aside for the sole sake of winning in New York. That's just so lame to me because that sort of defeats what sports is all about. Like, you're letting your political differences get in the way of winning here?
I listen, call me old-fashioned. I still believe in the idea of, hey, we could be friends if we have different political beliefs, but that is not a sentiment that is popular among younger people because their mindset is, yo, if you disagree with me on these big issues, then I don't know how I could be your pal. It's a very different mindset.
You could say, well, that's the problem. You should care, and I get all that. And here's another example. You could say, well, that's the caveman knuckle-dragging mentality of our generation, right? Have you ever, Danny G, Iowa Sam, Spot, Lowenkron, I say this respectfully, Fox Sports Radio Nation, please, I say this respectfully, have you ever kicked someone out of the bedroom because they didn't line up with you politically?
Have you ever had a hot woman laying in your bedroom and said, wait a minute, before we do this,
hold on,
who do you support?
Yeah, because guess what? In today's world, and I've seen it firsthand.
Imagine in your ass-getting days in the 2000s, you're like, some girl's like unrobing in your bedroom, and you're like, hold on, before this proceeds, McCain or Obama?
Oh, what?
Like,
even worse, what if she asks you? Right?
Hold on. Trick question.
Check the clock.
Like, do you lie just to make it happen? What I'm noticing,
I don't vote.
Right? Exactly.
I'm an independent.
What I'm noticing.
Then it becomes you don't vote.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you don't care about the process?
I'm neutral.
No, that neutral is even worse because then you're, quote, wishy-washy.
Oh, no, I screwed this up.
Think about it. If you were a single guy in the 90s, 2000s, if you're an older school dude, 70s or 80s, did you ever one time when you were in high school even care or think about the political thoughts of a girl you had a crush on?
No, never
Danny,
once.
when you were on your come-up, did you ever think of a girl who you asked out on a date?
If a high school girl asked me what my thoughts of the Gaza Strip were, I would be thinking, is that a steak? I wouldn't know. I wouldn't have known what she was talking about because I was a teenage idiot. These kids
You would have thought
today,
the Gaza Strip was a style she had going on somewhere.
kids today,
Oh my.
and you could say, well, then that's better for them because you should line up. I don't know about that. It's infiltrating relationships. How many young single people are out there because of all the differences? It's hard enough to find someone. Now you're adding another layer, and now it's infiltrating sports.
Well, the old adage of opposites attract, I think people have sort of poo-pooed that idea. And you know what?
Hey, we're live from the Fox Sports Radio studio. Well, they are. I'm in Idaho. Shout out to 99.9. It's Covino and Rich. You still driving that trusty old ride? Keep it looking sharp like Iron Mike. Keep it looking sharp with Mako. From dense to faded paint, we've got you covered. Get a free estimate today. Better get Mako. Now, we got midweek major coming up, but Rich, I just took a little bathroom break, and I had an epiphany. An epiphany.
Oh, that's when you have great thoughts in the middle of a pee? Yeah, okay.
You got to keep expectations low. The question is, if some of the old-time classics don't stand the test of time, like It's a Wonderful Life, do our sports highlights stand the test of time when kids see them today? Keep expectations low, because when you overhype it, it usually under-delivers, right? So if you're like, you got to see this play from Montana. Oh, man, it's called The Catch to Dwight Clark. Legendary The Catch. This kid has this impression of this is going to be the most legendary, and all you see is Dwight Clark sliding through the end zone, catches it with his fingertips. They're not going to be impressed with that because we oversold it, and a catch to them is a OBJ one-handed snag. Receivers today are catching them in their back pocket.
Puka the Nakua
dragging
made a
their
catch.
toes.
Puka made a catch this week more impressive. I get it. It was the magnitude of the catch, but you're right. Expectations low. It's
Keep
a big
them
part.
low. And then it makes you think, well, which highlights would stand the test of time? Like maybe It's a Wonderful Life does stand the test of time. Like it'd have to be like Mike Tyson biting Evander Holyfield because they're desensitized. They've grown up seeing UFC fights. So you have to show them something outlandish for it to resonate.
So, you know what? We're going to take your phone calls. Hang on. We're going to get to your phone calls on do those things stand the test of time. Just to prove the point, though, Matt in Minnesota hit us up, and he said, we have very few highlights in Minnesota with our sports teams. And his son won't watch the 91 World Series because he's like, Dad, it looks old. And he's like, son, it's the only thing we have. That and 87.
Dan Gladden's got a mullet.
Yeah,
right, well,
they're not feeling it.
Your feedback on the old school.
Metallica fan says that old school sports comedies hold up, like Major League, for example, Bull Durham. But a Brian song and The Natural, not so much. And, Rich, you proved that recently. You said you couldn't even sit through The Natural.
It was rough. Hey, listen, we're going to get to the rest of your feedback, but we're running low on time here, and Spot's got midweek major, so let's do it.
Let's do it.
Covino and Rich get you over the middle of the week with Midweek Major.
Ooh, I love that.
We throw sports and pop culture headlines and topics at the fellas, and it's like the kids say.
That's so mid. Week definitely major.
CNR scoring. Midweek Major.
Yeah. You guys ready?
I'm ready.
Yeah.
I was born
Like
ready. Let's go.
When I say ho, you say ho, ho,
Ho.
ho, ho. Oh, he's got that Idaho delay there.
Yeah.
All right, before we hand things over to the number one and only host of the segment, usually we roll the two big red love dice to see who gets first take, but since Covino's with his future in-laws,
oh man,
you're in the home. you're in the home studio, Rich. You get to call Ben Maller's famous ass pennies in my hand.
Whoa. Are you going to flip it or are you going to drop it like Donald Trump where it just lands? I'll go heads.
Heads. All right, here we go.
Yeah.
What's that smell?
From Benny versus the Penny on YouTube. It is heads.
All right.
That means Rich gets to go first. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the most famous person besides Judy Blume from Scotch Plains, New Jersey, Spotty Boy.
Hey, Spot.
Hey, guys. Well, Rich, since you're going first, I'll start with a 49ers or slightly 49ers related story. So if Brock Purdy goes down, don't worry, Rich, because Steve Young's ready to jump in. With Phillip Rivers returning to the field years after calling it quits, former 49ers QB Steve Young, who is currently 64 years old, was asked if he could pull off something similar to Rivers. And he said, as a QB, he believes that one of the things that would be like riding a bike is sitting in the pocket and reading defenses, which he said Rivers was great at doing. That's not going away, and it didn't for Phillip. He says that he feels confident he could take the snap, run the screen game, throw the ball in the flat, maybe throw a slant. He said that if it was something that he had to do, he absolutely could pull it off. He absolutely could suit up and go on the field. Not happening anytime soon, but I'm sure it's got a lot of retired players thinking once they saw Rivers on the field. Anyway, midweek or major?
I think it's major.
Definitely major.
Move over, Mac Jones. We got a new backup, Steve Young. Listen, Steve Young was always an intellectual guy. I mean, one of the smartest players in NFL history, they say. You saw Phillip Rivers and Danny G. I believe you and I were talking the other day about how you don't see guys command the line of scrimmage the way Phillip Rivers did. It was almost a throwback the other night.
He looked great, man. It was
just
cool.
reading a defense and the mental part of being a quarterback, which is why Tom Brady played so long. Tom Brady was the unique guy who his body held up long enough where the mind and body matched. I know that sounds ridiculous, but I think a lot of these old guys, other than getting hit and other than scrambling out of the pocket, reading coverages and throwing the ball, they can still do. I'm not saying Steve Young can play, but
getting his part of the game.
That part of the game, I think all these old guys could do.
If he's saying it's like getting on a bike, I think if he got into today's game, it'd be like getting on a Kawasaki motorcycle.
Yeah,
and he'd be like, whoa, this is really fast.
However, think about it. Steve Young, Sam, has called games and he does,
I know.
and he analyzes.
He's a legend for sure.
Yeah, so I think
64?
No, I don't think he could play, but I know what he's saying.
He could stand there.
Even throw over the offensive line. He's too small in today's game. No way, dude.
Okay.
You know what? I'm going mid. And I'll start by saying this. I give all the props in the world for having that type of attitude, that competitive edge. I love that. I love that competitive nature. He still has it, so congrats to him. He's 64. There's a big difference between 64 and Phillip Rivers, 44.
Yeah.
Not to mention Father Time's undefeated. And last time I saw Steve Young, and I say this respectfully because he is a legend, dude, he looks like Leslie Nielsen now. He's full-on gray.
Man,
I thought it was Phil Donahue.
And you know what? Last time we gave an old guy too much credit, it was Mike Tyson, and we saw how that ended, right?
And by the way, you compared him to Tom Brady. Tom Brady said recently as well he can get out there and play, no doubt. And I believe that because he's still in his 40s. 64? Look, I love the attitude, but it's not realistic.
I have some audio from Steve Young here. Here we go.
How much you want to make a bet I can throw a football over the mountains?
I don't want to bet you, Steve. You're great.
And
I'm sure you can. You know?
Because when you get older, you shrink a little bit. We've seen Steve Young in person. He looks small, man.
All right, over to the Chiefs and Travis Kelce. Retirement rumors are building as the Chiefs prepare to play their final game this season at Arrowhead. So Coach Andy Reid spoke yesterday saying he's unsure if Kelce will return to the team next season, saying they haven't spoke about it. I'm sure they have, although he's publicly saying they haven't. But his numbers and personality speak for themselves. He says he's been such an asset to the team. Other teammates like Chris Jones chimed in saying that it's sad. He hopes it's not his last ride, but if it is, I tip my hat off to him. Hell of a career. Even offensive coordinator Matt Nagy said he reflected on his time with Kelce and what he's done for the organization. So it seems like with all these people expressing this in the press conference yesterday that the vibe is a huge possibility that this may be Kelce's last season, midweek or major.
Do you mean the number one vote getting Pro Bowler?
I mean,
Travis Kelce? Listen, I think it's mid.
Okay. That's so mid.
Because everyone retires at some point. I just think that you can't go out like this. I know no one really has a happy ending unless you're John Elway, which I'm going to watch that documentary. Most people don't go out on top. But I don't think you go out after your 1 weak-ass season where the Chiefs don't even make the playoffs and they're under 500 and Mahomes is out. Like, I don't know. I just feel like if it reeks of... Remember when Mariano Rivera got hurt and then during his final season and he came back for one more season?
Yeah, I'm not getting that vibe. I think it's major because he's done.
Right,
and he's one of the greatest to do it.
Definitely major.
One of the greatest tight ends to do it. He's... What, you think coming back next year guarantees a better season? I don't think so at all. I don't think he's getting better. I don't think the team is guaranteed to get better. And he has other things to do. He's
true.
got a bride waiting for him. He's got a family, hopefully, to build. He's got a podcast that's making millions of dollars. He doesn't need this anymore. This is it for him, man. And congrats on a great career.
All right, speaking of million-dollar podcasters, Joe Rogan issuing a warning to Jake Paul after his battle with Anthony Joshua on Friday. Paul, who broke his jaw, being knocked out in the 6th. Rogan, who has long been associated with the UFC, as you know, urged Paul to consider his longevity in the sport. He said, "Don't do this very long because there's a price you pay that's not worth it, and that price is depression. Deep depression, a severe brain imbalance that's going to lead you to addiction." He said it leads many to have very impulsive behavior, from gambling addictions, alcohol addictions, drug addictions. He said that there was a lot of concussion in that one punch that he received from Anthony Joshua. It was real damage. Jake appeared on his brother's podcast, Impulsive, talking about the damage, saying he has, 4 titanium plates in there, and that his jaw basically snapped. So a lot going on there. Midweek or major?
It's major, man.
Definitely
and you
major.
said impulsive and impulsive in the same sentence. I love
right.
it.
Thank you.
I was going to make that pun, and you did it for me. I think it's major because what did Terrence Bud Crawford just say the other day? Covino, you're a big fan of the pound-for-pound, undefeated champion. Didn't he say, like, he's the real winner because he's able to walk away with his health?
Yeah. Yep. That's really...
that's it, really, right?
That's really all you want to do is come out clean and make your money, for sure.
When you're an NFL player or a boxer or someone that plays a high-impact sport, if you could come away successful with your health, you've won. And I think there's no reason why Jake Paul needs to prove anything else. But, he will, and it's dangerous, but he'll do it.
You know what? It's major, and I'll tell you why.
Definitely
a stat
major.
came out of the most watched boxing matches in the 21st century. Jake Paul is in the top 3 of the 5 most viewed fights. And I'll explain what those are later on. And he's saying that he's going to continue doing it because he loves the sport. Look, he's still young. I think he has a few fights in him, a few fights left. But I agree with Joe Rogan. Like, no need to push it further. You made your money. You made $92 million on that last fight.
$92 million. All right, Spot, one more quickie? Slip one in?
I don't really have the time. Sorry, guys.
Oh, well, hey.
But thank you. It's your fault.
Put a little coal in our stocking.
Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas.
Don't threaten me.
You know what? Thank you for being on time with the clock, Spot.
Yeah, I do my best.
You guys being all diligent. The boss will give you a little pat on the back.
Hey, somebody's got to keep you in line.
I know.
Hey, sounds like Spotty's kissing ass.
Oh, you kissing ass on the holidays? Hey, listen, we got more Covino and Rich. We'll talk a little NFL, and Covino does have an interesting Jake Paul stat to throw at you guys, which is like hilarious and awesome and daunting all at the same time. More Covino and Rich in for the great Dan Patrick next. Something that I feel like I've always sort of felt a little bit, but after seeing his behavior over the last week.
Oh, boy. Here it comes.
Justin Herbert's just a big weenie.
Wow.
Justin Herbert, not a fan.
And Rich knows weenies.
Justin Herbert, I mean, he can make it right. I mean, my opinion, it can be easily changed. But I don't know. I just feel like he's done a few things where I'm like, you know what? The only thing cool about this dude is that he's hooking up with Madison Beer.
There's been 2 incidents in the past week where you scratch your noggin and say, hey, is Herbert sort of a, what'd you call him, a weenie?
Yeah.
Is he sort of a weenie? Is he a weenus? Is he the lead singer of Weenus? Or did we just catch him at a bad moment? Is he the type of guy that turns on when the cameras are on, but off camera, he's really a weenie?
No, because on camera, he's a weenus.
You got to realize that we don't have any idea, not even close to any idea of what they deal with as far as fandom and kids and people wanting their attention and autographs. But they're no better than anyone else.
Don't give me that BS.
But that is true, dude. You don't know what it's like.
Do you know how to behave in public?
I do, but guess what I don't have? People bothering me all day long, every day, every time I step out in public. The Chargers win, and they kick it down to the field, and Laura Rutledge is trying to get his attention. Like, hey, we're going to you for an interview. And he's like, I'm just trying to celebrate with my team. And I totally understand that, and I get that. But as a quarterback in the league, you also have to understand that when someone of the major networks wants to interview you, you're the go-to guy. You're the quarterback. You're the spokesman for this moment. You're on television, and they caught him in a really weird, like, big-time moment. That's moment number one.
Bro, the fans and the billion-dollar deals these networks have to air the games and perpetuate you as a star player. And I saw people fighting over this the other day, back and forth. I go, he doesn't owe anyone anything. Stupid-ass interview. What is he going to say? But
I mean, it's part of the deal,
his
right?
apathy, I just feel like in these moments, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, I'm so adamant and strong-minded on this opinion.
You're adamant.
Little
Goody Two
Goody Two Shoes. Great song. I'm so adamant that all it takes is for an athlete to be a little endearing to the fans and reporters, and I feel like people notice. All he has to do is smile. I even notice when athletes address the reporter by name. He's like, "Hey, Laura." If he will call the by first name, and then at the end, he's like, if he was like, "Hey, Charger fan, thanks for coming out." That's what the Mets will miss with Pete Alonso. Pete Alonso would, at the end of all his little post games, would always, "Hey, fans, thanks for coming out. Let's effing go Mets. Thank you, guys."
Just yesterday, another clip went viral, and I sort of saw it everywhere. And I think it's gone viral because it sort of continues that narrative of what we saw on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, and I wondered, and I told you guys this last night when we were talking about this clip, I wondered if it was people piling on because of what happened after Monday night's game.
Obviously, very clear footage of Justin Herbert sort of big time at a kid who wanted him to sign something.
By the way, such a cute little kid, and I felt so bad for his face.
Yeah, and the dad's like, he'll take his hat off because he's wearing the opposing team's hat. He's wearing an Eagles hat.
He's wearing an Eagles hat and
he wanted a picture.
He just wanted to wave. I'm sure he wanted a picture, but even if he waved at Justin Herbert, let's put it in perspective, man. I've seen a lot of people talk about this, and there's so many things I agree with. You don't have to be a fan of the Chargers as a kid especially, to want to get his attention and have the thrill. A little wave from Justin Herbert would have made that kid's, I don't want to say his life, but it would have made his whole year that Justin Herbert acknowledged him, even though he's an Eagles fan.
Well, let me give you an example of this. You guys know me now. We've done this show. You and I have been friends for decades, but we've been on Fox Sports Radio for years. You know that I'm a diehard Mets fan.
Mm-hmm.
The first player that ever gave me attention wasn't a Met. I went down on the field. I've told the story before. Not on the field. I went down, batting practice, was hanging by the opposing dugout, just, taking a look. You're a little 8-year-old, 9-year-old kid, peeking your head around. And San Diego Padre, Bip Roberts, took the time to say, "Hey, kid, what's your name?" Signed the baseball for me, gave me a little pat on the back, and I went back to my seat.
You're like, whoa.
I remember having that dude's baseball card.
And I was like, Bip Roberts is the coolest.
Right.
So
and thanks for watching the show. Covino and Rich FSR on YouTube. Tony B 1405 says, "I could get used to these guys at this time slot in the future."
Wow.
So could we. Merry Christmas, Tony.
Ask Santa.
Yeah.
By the way, do you have any Santa Claus requests for your sports teams? Because I'm writing my Santa letter in a second. So
no, but I'll think about it. I do want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, though. Merry Christmas Eve. Enjoy the night. Enjoy time with friends and family. From our CNR on FSR family to yours, we wish you nothing but the best. Happy holidays, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, but enjoy this time, and it means a lot to be in here for Dan Patrick. Covino and Rich, Monday through Friday, 5 to 7 Eastern Time, 2 to 4 on the West, and anytime on YouTube, Covino and Rich FSR. Our bonus pod is there as well, so definitely check that out. Guaranteed to overpromised with Covino and Rich. Right now, we're live from the Fox Sports Radio studio, and for over 40 years, Tire Rack has been helping customers find the right tires for how, what, and where they drive. Ship fast and free, backed by free road hazard protection with convenient installation options like mobile tire installation. Tire Rack, the way tire buying should be. We're wrapping up day one of the segmented Dan Patrick hat trick, which means we'll be on again next Monday and Tuesday. So join us then. And I got to end with this, Rich.
Yeah, hold on. My wife just hit me up. My tacky Christmas inflatables are on the neighbor's lawn.
Oh, man.
The wind and the rain is ridiculous out here. Oh,
it's bad. Rich is in the middle of a monsoon in Los Angeles.
No, what you got, buddy boy? Give me your fun stat.
First off, there's two stories. This is a double doozy. Logan Paul has said, he said this on First Take, by the way, or it's posted on First Take. WWE is way harder than fighting Floyd Mayweather. It's the hardest thing I've done by a mile.
I can see that.
One. I can't really. Getting punched in the face for real by a Floyd Mayweather, training that, I'm not saying that preparing for a wrestling event is easy.
Floyd's a little guy. I think him jumping off
a little guy that he lost to.
Flying off the top turnbuckle and doing flips and putting your body on the line, way tougher than fighting 140-pound Floyd Mayweather.
I'd like to see you do it. You'd be gassed in the first round.
Yeah, but
you know why? Because it's real. That's why.
Yeah, but
let's see what happens if you get a gut punch.
I don't know. How about a guy that's done both is telling you and you're fighting it?
I'm not buying it. He's also working in the WWE. I'm not buying that for a minute. I'm not, and that's not to downplay how tough it is and how great he makes it look. He's great at it. But in Jake Paul news, and we just talked about him in Midweek Major, Jake Paul is part of the top 5 most watched boxing matches in the 21st century.
So since the year 2000, Jake
Paul. Number 5, all right? Just to put it in perspective, speaking of Mayweather, when this spectacle and circus began back in 2017, he fought Conor McGregor. And we were all intrigued to watch. 4.3 million people tuned in. Again, that's pay-per-view. Just keep that in mind. That was pay-per-view.
Okay.
4.3 million. Coming in at number 4, Mayweather-Pacquiao. So Mayweather in 2 of the top 5. 4.6 million in 2015. So 4.3, 4.6. Now, watch the jump it takes when Netflix becomes a thing and Jake Paul gets involved. Just recently, this past weekend, Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua, 2025, 33 million people tuned in.
Damn!
So we jumped from 4.6 million to 33 million.
That's awesome.
Number 2, Canelo Crawford, just recently. Again, Netflix, 41 million people tuned into that. And the number 1 fight of the 21st century, Jake Paul again versus Mike Tyson last year, 108 million. So again, we went from Mayweather-McGregor 4.3 to 108 million. So hate him or not, the eyes that this guy brings, you can say Netflix and make any sort of excuse you want. It's bringing eyes to the sport, and it's unbelievable how big he's making it. You know, it's kind of crazy to think of those numbers.
Well, then, you know what? Don't bust my huevos when I tell you that, you know, people care about this, and don't tell me about fight of the year with 2 no-names. These are the fights people want to see, whether you like it or not.
There's spectacles and there's fights that matter.
Why don't these matter? Why don't these matter? Because some made-up belt?
It has 0 ramifications. What do you mean, why doesn't it matter? It's a mismatch. It's a circus fight. It's fun and entertaining, and I'm there for it all day. But Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson next month matters a hell of a lot more.
What makes that more important? Because there's some fake WBO, whatever, WBC belt on the line?
I mean, use your common sense, bro. One is a circus act, and one is a legitimate fight for legitimate belts. You could say there's no value on the belts until there's one belt. I'm with you all day on that.
Yeah.
But there's legitimate fights with legitimate contenders, and then there's a circus fight.
Okay.
And that's what we got last weekend, and it was fun.
Right.
It was fun. But people are watching is the point.
All right. Hey, before we say farewell to the Dan Patrick audience, go around the room. Anyone want to make a little Christmas wish, a little wish to Santa on anything that they want? I'm writing my list here. Dear Santa, please sign Cody Bellinger for the Mets.
Right. Yeah. Continue signing Yankees. How lame is that?
You mean a guy that played for the Yankees for a cup of coffee? He's not a Yankee. He's a Dodger and a Cubby and other teams. Like, I don't think a Cody Bellinger is a Yankee.
And the rest of your bullpen are what? Leftover Yankees.
Yeah, leftovers.
Dear Santa, please let Tom Brady mentor Mendoza.
There you go.
And bring in leadership to get the Raiders a top O-line.
All right. Dear Santa, have David Stearns pull the trigger on a Scooble trade.
Oh, you stole my Christmas wish.
And dear Santa, let this be the year where Brock Purdy and the Niners get over the hump in an unassuming year where no one expects it.
You know what? Continue your Dear Santa note at Covino and Rich on social media. I'd love to see everyone's wish out there. Dear Santa, put Anthony Volpe on the bench and sign Bo Bichette.
There you go. Hey, Merry Christmas. Stay safe to you and your families. Appreciate all the Covino Rich support. Thank you, Dan Patrick and the Danettes. Until next time, arrivederci, baby.
See you in the promised land. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.